Welcome to the Rewriting Naruto Series, a series of videos where I rewrite Naruto, making changes to improve the story for my personal taste. This is a compilation of parts 22 through 29 of the series, which covers the Land of Whirlpools Arc, an original arc in the series that I made myself. Like this video to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, it really does help, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get going.
The Uzumaki clan? What do you mean? Tsunade says, yes, Naruto, the Uzumaki clan. So, am I a member of a clan? Kakashi says, well, the Uzumaki clan used to be an important and powerful clan in the Land of Fire. However, the clan as an institution no longer exists. Really? I didn't know that. Neji says, that's surprising. The Uzumaki used to be very powerful, like the Hyuga, maybe even more so. Tsunade says, yes, the Uzumaki clan was a powerful clan. They had a village just for themselves on an island in the coast of the Land of Fire. It is called the Land of Whirlpools. The Uzumaki were known for their great chakra reserves, stamina, and proficiency with sealing jutsus. Naruto seems surprised. But what happened to them? Tsunade says, they were destroyed. The Uzumaki clan was decimated by a calamity that our spies believe has returned to their lands. Sakura says, what kind of calamity, Lady Tsunade? Several decades ago, after the Leaf Village won the first Great Ninja War, a being of chakra appeared in the Land of Whirlpools. The Uzumaki clan tried to fight it, but they were destroyed. The first Hokage then went to the Land of Whirlpools when he caught wind of it and defeated said calamity. Naruto says, but you said the first Hokage died there. What did you mean by that? That being of energy, it somehow changed the nature of chakra itself. That's what my grandfather reported after he returned from the Land of Whirlpools. Sakura says, like changing the elemental type? Not exactly. When I said changing the nature of chakra, I meant to say that the creature managed to transform chakra into something else. So what happened to the first Hokage? After my grandfather returned to the Leaf Village, he was afflicted by a condition, a disease. No one had ever seen anything like that before. It was as though my grandfather's chakra became dull and sick. He lost so much of his strength. The Leaf Village and the Land of Fire tried everything to hide that fact and heal the first Hokage, but no one found a solution. Eventually, my grandfather became too ill to remain the Hokage and he stepped down. That's when the second Hokage took office. Soon after that, upon seeing weakness in our village, other nations attacked, trying to capitalize on my grandfather's disease, which they found out about. And thus, the Second Great Ninja War began. 5 years after my grandfather went to the Land of Whirlpools, he died from the chakra disease. That's why I am not forcing any of you to go on this mission, because of the risk this disease poses. Your mission would be to go there and stop the calamity. I am afraid that if this isn't contained, it could spread its chaotic energy and wreak havoc on the Land of Fire. Naruto says, I'm not afraid of this disease or whatever it is. I'm not letting this thing threaten the Land of Fire. Sakura, Neji, and Kakashi nod as well. Tsunade says, I haven't finished yet. There is something else. Your lives may not be the only ones in danger when you visit the Land of Whirlpools. Kakashi then says, in a somber tone, are you referring to the Senju clan plague, Lady Tsunade? I am. Naruto says, Senju clan? I've never heard of it. Tsunade says, the Senju clan was the clan of the first and second Hokages. It was one of the clans that founded the Leaf Village, a powerful clan, who was only rivaled by the Uchiha clan. And what was that plague all about? After the end of the Second Great Ninja War, the entire Senju clan got ill with the same chakra disease that affected Hashirama. The whole clan died in a matter of weeks. What? What do you mean? But how? Hashirama only died after 5 years. That's because he was so much more powerful than anyone else. He managed to withstand the disease much longer than the rest of the clan. But if my math is right, Hashirama was dead by that point, wasn't he? Yes, he was. We believe that somehow, even though Hashirama was the only member of the clan that came into contact with a chakra being, the disease was passed through some type of mysterious blood connection shared by the Senju clan members. No one else got the disease, only Senju, so that's the only possible explanation. And no one even got the disease when Hashirama was alive, and people visited him constantly calamity as well. Up until this day, we have no idea how to cure it. This is the risk going on this mission. Your families could be in danger as well. Sakura says, I never knew that happened. This is terrifying. Naruto says, still, if we don't do anything, this thing can get to the Land of Fire and kill even more. Besides, I have no family, so that risk wouldn't apply to me. I would understand if you guys didn't want to go, but I have no reason not to. Kakashi says, I also have no family, so I would only be risking my life too. Sakura says, I'll go. I think my parents would understand. Tsunade says, those were horrible days. Seeing comrades dying left and right, powerless to do anything about it. You must be sure about your convictions. Neji is very reflective. Tsunade says, Neji, I will understand if you wouldn't want to put the Hyuga clan in such danger. Neji says, it's not that. I was just thinking. You're a Senju too, aren't you, Lady Tsunade? You are the granddaughter of the first Hokage, so how come you survived this plague? I was wondering if you would ask me that question. The chakra disease had an exception. It didn't affect Senjus with Uzumaki blood. My grandmother was from the Uzumaki clan, hence I wasn't affected by the chakra disease. I had to watch my family die while I couldn't do anything myself. I was young. Maybe if I had developed my medical skills enough by that time, I would have saved them. Naruto remembers what Sasuke told him about losing his clan and that he could not ever understand such a pain because Naruto has always been alone. Sakura says, I'm sorry, Lady Tsunade. I never knew. It happened a long time ago, and now I'm worried about you and your families. Naruto says, so I wouldn't be affected by it anyway. But Granny Tsunade, you're Uzumaki too? Does that mean we're related? Well, we are probably distant relatives, members of the same clan. Maybe you're the sister of my great-grandmother. Tsunade gets pissed. Just how old do you think I am, Naruto? I don't know. You always pretend to be young, so it's kind of difficult to tell. Tsunade looks furious, but she changes subject. Regardless, Naruto, it's fundamental for you not to use the Nine Tails chakra during this mission. We don't know what would happen if it came into contact with a calamity. Alright, I'm not using that old stinky fox anyway. Tsunade seems worried. She says, I would go myself to this mission. Being in Uzumaki would make me immune to the disease, but I am afraid I can't leave the village. Sakura says, because of the Akatsuki? Well, that too, but something else worries me. Naruto says, what is it, Granny Tsunade? I'll take care of it. There's nothing you can do about it, Naruto. It's Danzo. He's getting bolder, sending his Root Anbu members to more missions around the Land of Fire. He's trying to establish a foothold. I fear that if I left the village, he would attempt a coup. Neji says, I see, so he is as problematic as I heard. Naruto says, that stupid old man! I'll clobber his face if he ever does anything to you, Lady Tsunade. Tsunade says, no, Naruto, you're not ready to deal with this type of politics yet. Best to focus on your mission. Kakashi is thoughtful. He says, Lady Tsunade, rest assured that if anything like that ever happened, the shinobi from the leaf would come to the protection of the village. Tsunade says, yes, of course. Kakashi then changes subject. So, what does this being of chakra look like, Lady Tsunade? Is it something like a tailed beast? Unfortunately, my grandfather's reports were quite vague. He said it was a being of chakra that could alter the nature of chakra and other beings. However, he said that the being was the size of a human, so it's probably different from a tailed beast. If you're all in agreement, your mission is to travel to the Land of Whirlpools and eliminate the source of the calamity. All members of Team Kakashi nod. Tsunade says, very well then, you leave effective immediately. This is an issue that cannot wait. The Land of Fire is counting on you. In the bowels of the Leaf Village, the Oni Masked Figure kneels in front of Danzo and says, the being of calamity has indeed returned to the Land of Whirlpools. It seems it is able to force its chakra into other creatures, turning them into monsters. However, the most concerning aspect is its ability to alter chakra. My jutsu became useless. Danzo says, as I thought, the Land of Fire is in grave danger. And to make things even worse, the Slug Princess has made her most imbecile decision yet, sending the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails on a mission to stop this calamity. Should I follow them and watch over Naruto Uzumaki again then? No, this time you'll need to take a more direct approach. We cannot allow the Nine Tails to come into contact with the calamity calamity. No one can predict what will happen when the Nine-Tails' chakra gets altered. It could result in a catastrophe of unprecedented scale to the Land of Fire. You must bring the Jinchuriki back to the Leaf Village by all means necessary, even if you have to kill his companions. Is that understood?
The Oni Masked Figure pauses.
Dealing with Sakura, Haruno, and Neji Hyuga would be no problem. The copy ninja, however, is something else. Yes, he is powerful, but I am sure you can fulfill your duty. What about the calamity itself? Shouldn't I try to stop it? No, I have already arranged for it to be stopped. Your mission has only one objective. Retrieve the Jinchuriki. Remember, it's not only Naruto Uzumaki who is in danger here, but the entire Land of Fire. Failure is not an option.
Team Kakashi, composed of Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, and Neji, jump through the Land of Fire forest, making their way towards the Land of Whirlpools. Naruto seems thoughtful. He says,
So my whole clan died, just like his. I never even knew my last name was important. I just thought they gave it to me to keep the 4th Hokage's enemies away.
Kakashi says, descendants of powerful clans usually inherit the clan name. Even though the Uzumaki clan is mostly gone, the name still carries power.
Kakashi-sensei, my father was your sensei. Did you know my mom too?
Minato-sensei was the strongest ninja of his time. Only one thing was able to strike fear in his heart, and that would be your mother. Naruto gets scared.
My mom was angry then?
She could be, but she was also a very kind woman. You actually remind me much more of her than your father. Naruto smiles.
I see. I'm actually glad you said that. And maybe, just maybe we'll find someone else in the Land of Whirlpools.
Sakura says, yeah, I heard some people still live in the ruins of the Land of Whirlpools. Maybe they will know something about what's going on. Neji says, yeah, that could work to our advantage. But we should be careful, we never know. They could be hostile to us. Naruto says,
Neji, I don't mean to act ungrateful. You're definitely a lot of help, but why are you risking your clan coming with us?
Neji says, I got approval from Lord Hiashi. He thought this was a matter that superseded the Hyuga clan itself. Besides, I am from the branch family. The seal that was put on my forehead effectively separates me from the main family. If the disease is transmitted through bloodlines, it shouldn't affect the rest of the clan whatsoever.
Oh, right. I remember that.
Sakura says, it's alright, Neji. Naruto is just worried about Hinata's safety.
What? What do you mean, Sakura?
Neji says, yeah, what's the deal with you and Hinata?
Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you two fit together. Just imagine Naruto and the head of the Hyuga clan together. You'll be my patriarch. Though, if you have any intentions with Hinata, you'll have to go through Lord Hiashi, and he is not fond of you.
I'll be the Hokage. He's not getting in my way.
So you do have intentions with her. Naruto blushes.
It's I...
Kakashi says, focus, everyone. We're on an S-rank mission, not a happy hour. Team Kakashi nods, and they keep moving forward. Heavy rain falls on a city of tall metallic buildings. High up on one of those towers, a figure stands, shaded by darkness. The figure says, Zetsu has informed me that there is a disturbance in the Land of Whirlpools. Something related to an ancient, powerful chakra. My angel, you shall go investigate the site. Bring back anything that could be of value to our organization. A blue-haired woman wearing the Akatsuki robe stands near the figure. She says, should we really trust Zetsu? I am not sure if he has the same goals as ours. The figure says, your skepticism is warranted, Konan. That is why I'm sending you, and only you there. The figure opens his eyes. Two glowing renegons in the darkness. For now, we will act on Zetsu's information. Konan says, very well, pain. Night falls. Team Kakashi is still making their way to the Land of Whirlpools. Rain begins to fall and they decide to set up camp in a cave. Kakashi says, it's a 3-day journey to the Land of Whirlpools. If we don't rest, we'll be exhausted when we get there. We have to be in ideal conditions for this mission. Kabuto sits underneath a tree. Rain pours around him as he looks at the scroll depicting the Reaper Death Seal mask and those 6 intricate daggers. He rolls up the scroll and puts up his
his hood. 2 days later, Team Kakashi find themselves in a port city in the Land of Fire. The city bustles with activity, merchant ships, and commerce. We can see other ninjas from the Leaf Village stationed in the city for protection, patrol, and other types of assignments. Kakashi points to the ocean and says, "The Land of Whirlpools is directly ahead." Naruto says, "Oh yeah, it's an island. Are we getting a ship?" Kakashi laughs. "Why should we? We're ninjas." Kakashi begins to run over the ocean water towards the Land of Whirlpools. Naruto, Sakura, and Neji follow. After 5 hours of running over the ocean water, they finally see an island taking shape in the distance. Kakashi says, "We're near. Once we arrive, we'll take a rest." Running for several hours while molding our chakra to walk on water is demanding. Team Kakashi arrives at the beaches of the Land of Whirlpools. They set up camp as the night begins to fall, and Naruto says, "So, where do we go after here?" Kakashi says, "The best place to start will be the Uzumaki city, which was the capital of this land." Neji, do you see anything? Neji has his Byakugan activated. As he looks around, searching, he says, "I don't see anyone, but there's something else that's strange. There's a lot of chakra surrounding us, in the air itself. It looks unnatural, different from regular chakra." Kakashi says, "Is it nature energy?" "No, I've only seen nature energy manifested once or twice before, but this is definitely different." Naruto says, "What's nature energy?" Kakashi says, "It's essentially chakra that flows through nature itself, and only a handful of individuals are able to draw from it. But if this is not nature energy, that makes me feel more uneasy, because we don't know what it is." Sakura says, "Does it feel like tailed beast chakra? I've only seen the 9 tails' chakra before, but this feels completely different as well." Kakashi says, "There's no point trying to guess what it is then. It's probably something none of us has ever seen before. What we can do is stay sharp and rest as well as we can." Kakashi lays several traps, including wire traps, around the location of their camp, and then says, "We're gonna take shifts and watch over for any threats. Who wants to start?" Naruto volunteers to start, and he begins to watch as the other members of the squad go to sleep. From a distance, the Oni Masked Figure looks at Naruto, who is illuminated by the bonfire. He's the only member of Team Kakashi that's up. The Oni Masked Figure then begins to move towards Naruto, making absolutely no sound. The figure moves between the shadows of the trees and rocks nearby, expertly avoided the traps Kakashi laid. Naruto has no idea someone is approaching. The Oni Masked Figure gets within 5 meters of the camp. Naruto's back is turned towards him. Kakashi wakes up and throws a kunai towards the Oni Masked Figure's direction. The entire team wakes up then, and Naruto turns around alarmed. "What was that, Kakashi-sensei?" Kakashi's kunai landed on a tree. No one is there. Neji activates his Byakugan and scouts the area. He says, "I don't see anything." Kakashi says, "It must have been my imagination." After waiting for a couple of minutes to see if anything appears, they go back to sleep. Team Kakashi wakes up the next day and they make their way towards the Uzumaki city. As they get closer to the city, Neji says, "The closer we get, the denser the chakra surrounding us becomes. It's even limiting my Byakugan range." Kakashi says, "Then the source must definitely be in the city somewhere." They arrive at the ruins of the Uzumaki city. The chakra is so dense that it is visible in the air. The city expands far, and it is taken by the vegetation. Naruto says, "What will we be looking for now?" Kakashi says, "Anything that looks out of the ordinary. We should not split up. Best we stay together and use strength in numbers if anything happens." Neji, can you see anything? Unfortunately, the chakra surrounding us is so dense that the effective range of the Byakugan is only 30 meters. Right now, though, I don't see anything strange. Team Kakashi begins to scout the area, looking into several ruins. Naruto says, "This is really spooky." Sakura says, "Come on, Naruto, are you scared?" Naruto says, "I'm not scared. I'm just saying it's spooky." They continue to search for hours, but the only thing they see are the destroyed buildings and signs that people once lived here. Night begins to fall again, and they haven't seen anything. Neji hasn't found anything with his Byakugan, but then a powerful female voice that reverberates around the entire land says, "What is this chakra I sense? It feels nostalgic." Team Kakashi gets alarmed. Naruto says, I told you it was spooky. This has to be some sort of monster. Sakura says, yeah, I think I'm leaning towards agreeing with you this time. Neji says, I saw chakra coming from the ground itself when that voice spoke. Kakashi says, apparently the thing is underground then. Team Kakashi then hears a child screaming from far away. Help me! Help me, please! They all rush towards the direction of the voice, jumping through the ruins. They reach the source of the commotion. A small red-haired boy is crying as some of the vines that engulf the ruins gained life and are grappling him. The vines ooze chakra from all sorts of colors. It's as though they are trying to infuse it into the boy's body. Naruto weaves hand signs saying, Wind style! Wind cutter! Naruto spits a gust of air that turns into a large vertical blade of air, impacting and slicing through the vines that grapple the boy, cutting them clean. Naruto runs forward and catches the boy, jumping away from the vines. Sakura says, Naruto, watch out! Naruto looks to the side and an ocean of vines has now gained life, infused by the weird chakra. They are about to completely swallow Naruto and the boy. Neji jumps in front of him, assuming a stance. 16 trigrams, 128 palms. Neji begins to strike the vines one by one with absurd speed, dismantling and destroying them. They don't stop coming, however, Neji manages to hit them faster than they can advance towards Naruto. The ground begins to shake and the female omnipresent voice says, I won't let you go away this time, Kurama. Two massive flies made out of the strange chakra erupt from the ground right beneath Sakura and Kakashi, forcing the two to jump away and dodge. The boy on Naruto's arms begin to cry even more. No, Mom! Please, stop! Please! Naruto puts him down and creates a small army of clones. A dozen of clones surround the boy, protecting him. Neji keeps on striking the vines with blinding speed, preventing them from advancing more. But they are beginning to overwhelm him. Kakashi looks at the two huge, disgusting flies flying above them and says, Naruto, Sakura, you take the one on the left. I'll take the one on the right. Naruto and Sakura nod. Sakura jumps up towards the left fly. However, it spits acid towards Sakura, who's midair, unable to dodge. Wind style! Great wind schism! Several Naruto clones spit powerful gusts of wind that intercept the acid, dissipating it. Sakura reaches the fly, grappling it by the snout. She then dodges another acid spat by throwing herself up, using the fly as leverage. She manages to stay above the fly and lands a massive kick that sends the fly crashing to the ground. The vines approach the Naruto clones protecting the boy, and they destroy them as they pick them apart one by one, overwhelming the clones. As they are about to grapple the boy again, Neji intercepts them and uses his rotation to protect the boy and destroy the vines at the same time. However, they keep coming and stop Neji's rotation. He then assumes another stance. 32 trigrams, 256 palms. Neji begins to strike the vines with even more speed. It's almost impossible to see his hands moving. Kakashi dodges acid barrages coming from above, the second fly pursuing him. The acid that lands on the ruins melts stone. The ground behind Kakashi then begins to erupt once more. A gigantic demonic-looking bat erupts from it and begins to attack him, assaulting Kakashi with sound waves. 10 Naruto clones weave hand signs saying, Wind style! Wind dragon! The 10 dragons quickly form and impact the grounded fly with an explosion, destroying it. The strange chakra evaporates. Kakashi dodges the acid, but the sound waves unleashed by the bat begin to make him dizzy. He weaves hand signs. Earth style. Pebble control. 2 small rocks shoot from the ground towards Kakashi's ears. They shape themselves according to the shape of his ear holes and attach themselves to them. He manages to neutralize the bat's sound attack by blocking the sound itself, and thinks, I didn't want to overuse my chakra, but I better finish this up before it turns ugly. Kakashi weaves hand signs. Lightning style.
twin lightning beasts. His hand ignites in lightning that takes the shape of two massive lightning hounds, skipping through the air, dashing with intense speed towards the fly and the bat. The chakra creatures attempt to flee from the lightning hounds, however, they are tracked down, and the hounds impact the bat and the fly. Their bodies are consumed by lightning and they begin to fall. Kakashi thinks, what? That wasn't enough to kill them? Kakashi activates a Raikiri and runs towards the massive falling creatures. Neji is still trying to destroy all the vines incoming towards the boy. Before the fly and the bat hit the ground, Kakashi lands the Raikiri on both, destroying them as their chakra evaporates. Kakashi thinks these things are pretty strong. If several of them attacked us at the same time, that would be a problem. Neji finally destroys all the vines that were infused with chakra, and they stop coming. Naruto runs to the boy saying, "Are you okay, little guy?" The boy answers, still scared and crying, "Yes, I'm fine." Sakura comes up to him and heals the boy's grazed knee. Kakashi also rejoins the group. Naruto looks at Kakashi saying, "Do you know who this Kurama the voice was talking about is, Kakashi-sensei?" "I'm afraid I don't, but there's something else." Kakashi looks at the boy and says with a smile, "You're fine now. We're not gonna let anyone hurt you." The boy calms down after hearing Kakashi's standard words. "Could you tell us why you're here?" "I was looking for my mom. She is talking to us the whole time. She is alive. I know it." Naruto says, Wait a minute. That voice we heard, is that your mom's voice?" "Yes, she's alive. The others are saying she is turned into a ghost and is tormenting us, but I know she's alive."
What the hell is going on here? Kakashi asks him in a friendly tone, "What's your name, young man?"
"Yotsu."
Kakashi says, "Well, hello, Yotsu. It's nice to meet you." He then introduces himself and the rest of his squad. Naruto, Sakura, and Neji wave at the boy and smile. Kakashi then says, "Yotsu, can you explain to us a little bit better what happened to your mom? We can try to help you." Yotsu says, "My mom went out to get food for us, but one day she didn't come back. And after that, we started to hear her voice really loud, just like now. She is speaking to us, asking for help, and those monsters then, they begin to appear. The others, they're saying she died and cursed the city now." Kakashi says, "It's okay, calm down. We're gonna solve this." Neji goes to check the holes on the ground from which the chakra creatures emerged. He inspects the holes with his Byakugan and realizes something, saying, "The holes are closing. It is as though the rocks on the ground are regenerating." Naruto says, "So he can't go down there, huh?" Neji says, "I think you could try to do this next time when one of those creatures appears, but we would have to be fast and run down before the hole closes." Neji also sees a dead bat and a dead centipede on the ground, close to where Kakashi defeated two of those creatures. Sakura says, "Well, if you saw the chakra coming from the ground, I suppose the only way to go is down." Kakashi says, "That's the only option I see. We scouted a lot of the city and found nothing." Kakashi then turns again towards the boy and says, "You said there were others. Are they part of your family?"
"Yes, we live here."
Kakashi says, "Can you take us to them?"
"I don't know. They don't like visitors."
Naruto looks at the boy, smiles, and says,
"Don't worry, Yotsu. We're gonna help you out and save your mom. This is a promise. But the more we know about this place, the easier it's gonna be to save her. So if we could talk to your clan, it could help us to help you out."
Sakura smiles.
"If you get in trouble for it, we'll take the blame."
Yotsu nods, reassured by them, and says,
"Okay, follow me."
At this point, Sasuke will begin to assemble Team Hebi. There will be only one change to the aspect of the story. Jugo will not be the original user of the curse mark, the one that Orochimaru used to develop the jutsu. Instead, he will only be a very talented user of the curse mark. In the rewrite, Orochimaru gave Jugo a curse mark just like he did to Sasuke, Sound 4, and all that. This might seem like an arbitrary change, but it will make sense later. Karin remarks while they're going towards Jugo's prison to rescue him, "Jugo was the only one who's been able to achieve mastery over the curse mark other than Sasuke. They're both able to draw in much more nature energy through the curse mark. Nobody else even comes close. However, Jugo overused his curse mark, and then, well, the curse mark overtook his mind and has become unhinged." Sasuke says, "The nature energy always attempts to take over your body and mind. It's as though it has a will of its own. No wonder why Jugo went crazy if he overused it." Karin says, "It's a double-edged sword. The more powerful the curse mark, the easier it is to be taken over by it. That is why I try to use it sparingly." Jugo will still be the same character, bipolar and stable, but the reason why is different. It's because of his overuse of the curse mark and how it affected
inherited him. Also, as Karen stated before, Jugo and Sasuke are better with the curse mark than the others that we saw before. This is one of the reasons why Sasuke was able to beat the Five Tails with his curse mark too. Also, seeing Karen here will pay off her first appearance in the Forest of Death when her team fought Team 7. But Sasuke gathering his team remains otherwise the same. Sasuke assembling Hebi will happen while Naruto is on the mission in the Land of Whirlpools, so Naruto will not know right away that Sasuke killed Orochimaru and is on the move. After Team Hebi is completely assembled, Suigetsu will ask Sasuke, "So what do we do now?" Sasuke says, "We have a man to hunt down. But first, we must begin preparations and locate the bastard." The Boyotsu brings Team Kakashi to what looks like a basement door amid the ruins of the Uzumaki city. He opens the door, leading to a stone staircase. Yotsu and Team Kakashi go down the stairs for quite some time, and eventually the stairs reach ground. They see a large underground cave with several doors. Yotsu says, "Each door leads to a room that serves as a house for a family." The cave has a major place for cooking, assembling, bathrooms, as well as containers for food, water, and firewood storage. It doesn't seem to be a temporary residence. Several people that are out in the cave look at the newcomers with suspicion. All people in there have red hair, with the exception of the elderly whose hair has turned gray or white. An elder man approaches them. He appears to be the oldest of the bunch and says, "Yotsu, you know you shouldn't bring strangers down here, you foolish boy, and you shouldn't be leaving alone either. I told you not to go there." Naruto says, "Hey, no need to yell at him, old geezer." The elder says, "Leave now, you're not welcome here." Kakashi says, calm down, we're here to help. Naruto, you too." Yotsu says, "They saved me. The monsters attacked me outside and these people saved me, old man Kajinori." Kajinori looks at Team Kakashi and says, "Is that so?" Naruto says, "Yeah." "I see. Most people that come to these lands come to try and steal the little our clan has left." Naruto says, "Your clan? Are you Uzumakis?" Kajinori replies, "We are." "So am I." Kajinori looks at him in disbelief. "Shut up, you idiot boy. All Uzumakis have red hair." Kakashi says, No, he is telling the truth. It's just that he inherited his father's hair." Kajinori says, "Ah, I see. It's very strange. Usually, the red hair remains strong. It's good to see that there are Uzumakis spread around the world, huh? Well, you're from the Leaf. The Leaf never really bothered us before too much. But why are you here now?" Kakashi says, "We came here to solve this issue you're having with the monsters." Neji looks at Naruto and Sakura, and he says in a way that only they can hear, "Judging by how this cave looks, these people have lived underground for a long time. Don't you think this is weird?" Sakura says, "I was thinking the same. Maybe they live down here for protection?" Sakura then asks the old man, "So, is there any danger here apart from the monsters?" Kajinori says, "Yeah, as I said before, looters, thugs and thieves that come here constantly. The Leaf Village says it protects the island, but they can go through their blockades and stuff like that. We no longer have shinobi to defend ourselves, so living down here is the best way to avoid problems." Kakashi says, "Do you know when the monsters began to appear?" Kajinori looks at Yotsu and ushers Team Kakashi to a quieter place in the cave, away from the little boy. He then says, "The boy's mom was one of our food gatherers. They go outside hunting and gathering. She was the best at it. But about 3 weeks ago, she went on one of those missions and never returned. The worst part is that we began to hear her voice after a while, as if it completely surrounded this land." Naruto says, "So that voice is actually his mom?" "Indeed. Though she doesn't really sound like she used to. She sounds insane. And this took a toll on the boy. I tried to keep him down here safe, but he finally managed to slip through my fingers today. Staying down here is probably the best bet against those monsters, but I'm afraid we don't have infinite provisions. Eventually we'll have to go up and gather supplies again. I'm just glad they haven't found us down here yet. And I'm glad Yotsu didn't die up there. So I should thank you." Naruto says, "Well, that's what we do. What was his mom's name?" "Her name was Aki. Her name is Aki. She is still alive, and we'll save her. After all, she's a fellow Uzumaki." "Huh, you're as idealistic as Yotsu. Of course that if you save her, I wouldn't complain, but I'm just too much of a realist." Naruto says, "I call it pessimism. Call it what you will. I've seen too many awful things to remain optimistic in this world." Sakura says, "About that, were you around when the calamity happened here?" Kajinori
Kajinori's face becomes grim, and he says, I wasn't in the city proper. I was fishing on the shores of the island, and when I returned to the Uzumaki city, everything was ash and destruction. My family's house was obliterated with everyone in it. They all died. I then gathered the few Uzumaki survivors I could find, and we sought shelter in the ruins. But when I arrived here, there was no sign of what did this to the land. It was strikingly awful. A few days later, these energy monsters, just like the ones you saw today, began to appear, but there was someone else too. It looked like a person completely enveloped by energy. It was as though that being was commanding the monsters. We saw him from far away, and I knew that he would want to destroy us, but I also knew this cave where we could hide. We stayed down here, and a few days later, the monsters stopped making noises up above. More days passed, and some leaf ninjas located us down here. They told us that the first Hokage had dealt with the situation, and then they offered us to go and live in the Leaf Village.
Naruto says,
And why didn't you go?
Kajinori says, almost all Uzumakis had either fled this land or died. We couldn't leave this place abandoned. We couldn't leave our home, so we decided to stay here, so that at least the Uzumaki clan still existed. Naruto says, I understand. Home is home, no matter what happens. Neji asks, so did any of the survivors witness what happened on that day of the calamity? What did the person of energy do to the city to destroy it so thoroughly?
Kajinori says, only one of the survivors was in the city when it happened. Her name was Kada. She was Yotsu's grandmother and passed away a few years ago. She was so terrified of what happened that day that she was unable to speak a word for almost 10 years. So we only found out about this a decade after the calamity. When she finally regained her ability to speak, she told us that the person of energy wasn't what destroyed the city. She told us it was a red devil so gargantuan that it blocked the sun. It carried a blade of the purest white, and its power was absolutely overwhelming. The Uzumaki shinobis attempted to fight it, but they might as well have been flies by how easily they were squashed.
Sakura says, was this devil similar to the monsters of energy we saw today?
No. According to Kada, that thing was dozens of times larger than they were. It was taller than the mountains on the island, and it looked more like a person. It didn't have all sorts of colors either. It was just crimson red, like blood, carrying a shiny white blade. That's everything I know about it.
Sakura says, I'm sorry we made you relive this, Mr. Kajinori. We'll make sure the information you gave us will be put to good use.
Of course, yeah, and feel free to spend the night here. You must be exhausted.
Kakashi smiles and says, we kindly accept your offer. Kajinori takes Team Kakashi to one of the rooms in the cave. The room has no one in it, but it has 5 very rudimentary beds that they can use. They thank Kajinori and he leaves. The Oni Masked Figure silently jumps through the ruins of the Uzumaki city. The figure mixes with the darkness of the night, almost impossible to be seen. The Oni Masked Figure then spots another figure walking the ruins, wearing a cloak and a hood. This other figure seems to be searching, going from ruined building to ruined building, looking everywhere. The Oni Masked Figure approaches the other figure, and then the Oni Masked Figure realizes who the other person is. Kabuto is searching out the entire city in stealth, and he doesn't appear to have noticed he is being watched. As soon as the Oni Masked Figure realizes that the other person is Kabuto, he clenches his right fist and pulls a kunai. The Oni Masked Figure fixates his emotionless gaze on Kabuto, the kunai glistening on the moonlight. The Oni Masked Figure pauses, puts away the kunai, and leaves, making no sound. Team Kakashi sits in their room and they all seem worried. Kakashi says, well, if what we knew before wasn't encouraging, this devil thing is even more concerning. What's worse, I could tell he wasn't lying to us. Neji says, yeah, he definitely wasn't, but I have a suspicion of what that devil thing is. When the chakra beast Naruto defeated evaporated, I saw with my Byakugan a normal looking centipede appearing in its place. It was destroyed by the wind dragon soon after, but then when I went to check the holes where the other creatures came out from, I also saw a dead bat and a centipede close to where Kakashi Sensei defeated the other 2 chakra beasts. My hypothesis is that whatever is underneath the Uzumaki city is lacing these animals with its powerful strength chakra and transforming them into these massive beasts that he can control. My fear is that the devil that Mr. Kajinori told us about was essentially a human that went through the same process. More specifically, a ninja. That's why it was so much more powerful and destroyed the Uzumaki city. Kakashi says, it makes sense. If a harmless creature like a centipede gets that powerful with that chakra transformation, a ninja capable of using chakra is something unthinkable. The Uzumaki clan was extremely powerful and they got flattened by it. The only creatures that I am aware that can display such destruction are tail beasts, and Mr. Kajinori said that this demon looked more like a human, and the tail beast don't look like that. And the worst thing is, if the thing that attacked the Uzumaki city was indeed a tail beast, the Uzumaki clan would have been able to take care of it. After all, they were great with sealing jutsus. Naruto says, so you're telling me that whatever is down there is stronger than the Nine Tails? Kakashi says, it is hard to believe, but it's possible. This world is full of things we don't understand. Sakura says, still, it's just a hypothesis. We could be completely wrong about it, but it's best to work with the assumption we are right. Kakashi says, yes, we will wait until one of those creatures emerges from a hole on the ground and we'll infiltrate said hole before the earth regenerates. Let's see where it ends. It's the only option we have, and if that doesn't work, we'll have to think about another method to go underground. But first, let's try this way so we don't have to spend our chakra. Who knows how deep we'll have to go. For now, let's rest so that we are at full strength tomorrow. Late at night, Tsunade sleeps on her desk in the Hokage's office. The door opens and she perks up. It's Jiraiya. Tsunade says, oh, you've returned. Jiraiya smiles and says, working hard, huh? You should probably bring your mattress here at this point. Tsunade says, I just lost track of time. Well, that's something we can agree isn't your speciality. Tsunade gets annoyed. If you bring up the Land of Hot Springs, we're gonna have a problem. Jiraiya laughs and says, I thought I was allowed to make fun of you about that when we were alone. Tsunade laughs and says, oh, right. I forgot I told you that. Anyway, is there anything new out there? I believe I am getting closer to finding out the location of the leader of the Akatsuki. I don't have confirmation, but I should be able to locate him in due time. However, this is not the reason I returned. Orochimaru is dead. Tsunade stands up abruptly. What? Yes. All channels of intel point to that. And he was killed by Sasuke Uchiha. Unbelievable. Why do you think Sasuke did that? Well, if I were to guess, he was probably not very keen on giving his body to Orochimaru. Besides, by Team Kakashi's report, he was probably stronger than Orochimaru already. So is he going after Itachi now? Most likely. I've had a report saying that he was sighted in the Land of Waves. Will he be coming to the Land of Fire? I think he would only do that if he knew Itachi was here. That makes sense. Well, good news is that Naruto is on a mission, so we have time to decide what to do without him being too eager. Oh yeah? Where is he? In the Land of Whirlpools. What? Are you crazy? Why did you just send him on that mission? I told you it should be a squad of Jonins at least. Naruto isn't a Jonin only in rank, Jiraiya. He managed to infuse wind style into the Rasengan and killed Kakuzu, that Akatsuki member with it. You're being too overprotective of him. Jiraiya smiles. He's come this far then. He did what Minato didn't have time to. Perfected the Rasengan. Yes, he did, which is very impressive. And, well, I sent the strongest team I had available in the Leaf Village. Kakashi is with him too, they should be okay. When you showed up, I was thinking about sending you as a reinforcement, but this new information changes everything. Drop the Akatsuki leader for now and focus on Sasuke. Find out what he is doing and what his plans are besides killing Itachi. And make sure he doesn't threaten the security of the Land of Fire. And what if I actually encounter him? Tsunade thinks long and hard and says, try to reason with him, but if he killed Orochimaru, you shouldn't try to fight him outright. Huh? You think I can't beat Orochimaru? Tsunade says in annoyance. I didn't say that. Jiraiya laughs. I love it when you make that face of yours. You pretend you're annoyed, but you're actually worried. That's reassuring. It means someone still cares about an old fool like me. Don't be stupid. Of course I'm worried, and of course I care about you. And we're not that old, Jiraiya. Jiraiya laughs. Still, if I were to bring Sasuke back, this would take a lot of weight from Naruto's shoulders. And even though he is stronger now, I'd prefer not to put him at risk. Standard procedure is to eliminate rogue ninjas, but we've been making an exception for Sasuke to honor Naruto's will and determination. This decision has paid off. He's eliminated one of the greatest threats to the Leaf Village. Maybe now that Orochimaru is dead, it will be easier to reason with him. We don't know what the relationship was like. We don't know if Orochimaru held any sway on him. But what if he doesn't want to be reasoned with? Tsunade sighs. I'll leave that up to you. I'm not your mom, and you're old enough to make tough decisions. Very well then. Good seeing you again, Tsunade. Jiraiya motions to leave, and as he's doing so, Tsunade says, Jiraiya, when you come back, you should talk to Naruto about that. Jiraiya looks at her, nods, and says, I know. Naruto can't sleep. He is agitated, rolling on his simple bed. Sakura notices that and approaches Naruto. She says in a quiet tone, is everything alright, Naruto? Yeah, I was just thinking about these people. Because they're from your clan? Am I that easy to read? Well, you're not exactly difficult. I see. I know these people chose to stay here in this place, but why didn't the Leaf Village ever help them? They could have tried to rebuild the city or something. No one is allowed to come and visit this island. It's also patrolled by ninja boats from the Leaf. I knew about this before we came here, but now I know why. When Lady Tsunade told us about the chakra disease, it's understandable why they wouldn't let anyone come to this island after what happened. An entire clan dying? Still, it just feels wrong. You gotta help these people. They live in a cave and they're from my clan. You will help them, Naruto. We'll help them doing this mission. Now you should try to rest. I can't sleep, Sakura. I just can't. I can't stop thinking of them and Yotsu and his mom. If you want, I can cast a genjutsu that induces sleep on you. You can do that? Well, yes, it's not a very complicated one. Naruto nods, accepting Sakura's offer. She nods back, weaves hand signs, and puts Naruto under a sleep genjutsu. She then goes back to sleep as well. Team Kakashi wakes up early in the morning. As they leave the room, Naruto sees Yotsu already up. He has an expression of wonder on his face. Naruto approaches him and he sees Yotsu is playing with a butterfly. Naruto looks at the butterfly and finds it very odd. It's as though the butterfly is made out of paper. Naruto says, Yotsu, where'd you find that? I don't know, but it's so pretty. Naruto calls the rest of his team over. When they arrive and Naruto turns back towards Yotsu, the butterfly is gone. Naruto says, Yotsu, where did the butterfly go? I wanted to show it to my friends. I don't know. I just think it disappeared. Naruto says to his team, it was really weird. It looked like it was made out of paper. I don't know. Neji activates his Byakugan. He looks around and says, I don't see anything, though my Byakugan range is limited because of the chakra that engulfs the city. Sakura says, it could be one of those chakra beasts. Kakashi says, I don't think so. If it was just a paper butterfly, I'm afraid we're being watched by someone other than the being plaguing this land. We must be cautious. Tremors hit the cave. Some small rocks and dust begin to fall as Team Kakashi hears sudden rumbling noises. Naruto says, what is this? Kajinori comes out of one of the doors in the cave and yells to Team Kakashi, it's those beasts! They've appeared again! Judging from the sound they're making, they're not too close! Kakashi nods and says, then we don't have time to lose. Let's go! Before they leave, Naruto kneels in front of Yotsu and says, don't worry, little guy, we're gonna save your mom, and then I'll make sure you're taken care of. Yotsu gives a nod, and Team Kakashi dashes outside of the cave. When they emerge, they see a column of smoke in the distance, exactly from where the rumbling sounds are coming from. They jump through the ruins and run as fast as they can towards it. Kakashi looks at Naruto and says, I know you promised the boy you're gonna save his mom, but if we can't, or if we have to let her die in order to save the Land of Fire, Naruto, I need to know you're ready to make a tough decision. Naruto says, I know, but giving the boy hope was the least I could do. Kakashi nods. Neji says, looking ahead, my Byakugan is not in range yet, but I think the creatures are fighting someone. Kakashi says, I had a bad feeling about that butterfly Naruto told us about. We're probably up against other shinobis. Team Kakashi begins to see a couple of chakra beasts in the distance, some flying, others on the ground. They are then suddenly hit by a crystalline structure that pierces through them, destroying them. Team Kakashi is taken aback. Naruto says, damn, something just destroyed them instantly. Kakashi says, whoever was fighting them was powerful. We must approach with caution. Kakashi creates a shadow clone
clone. He says, I'll send my clone as a scout, and we'll approach more slowly. We'll have to wait for another opportunity to go underground. We cannot risk simply rushing in. Kakashi's clone dashes forward. The Oni Masked Figure hides and observes the place where the chakra creatures were just defeated. 7 shinobi stand there, having won the battle against the beasts. Kabuto also hides nearby and sees the squadron of 7 led by a woman. Kakashi's clone arrives at the scene. He sees the squadron of ninjas and hides, thinking about what to do. He makes up his mind and shows himself to the squadron of ninjas saying, "You are far away from home, Ringo Ameyuri." An 18-year-old woman with dark red hair carrying 2 blades with protrusions and wearing a mist headband stands in front of her squadron made out of 6 other jonins from the Mist Village. Side note, Ringo Ameyuri will be a completely different character in the rewrite. She's obviously not dead here, she's not an Edo Tensei, and the only similarities she'll have in the rewrite to the original character are her name, her appearance, and the fact that she is a 7 ninja swordsman. Ringo smiles and says, "Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja, huh?" Kakashi says, "You're lost, aren't you? I think it would be wise for you to return to the Land of Water. As you may know, visitors aren't allowed in this particular place." "Don't patronize me, and we both know this isn't happening. And I thought the new Mizukage was more amicable towards the Leaf. This is quite a backstab." "The new Mizukage has a new idea of how to conduct the Mist affairs, and the Mist's Death Squadron makes sure her decisions don't destroy our nation. Do you really want to fight this bad? I'll have to kill all of you." Ringo laughs. "We are the Death Squadron. You clearly haven't heard of us. We are the ones who do the killing." At this point, Team Kakashi, including the real Kakashi, arrive at the scene, hiding from sight. The only one who notices their arrival is the Oni Masked Figure, who still observes the scene, and then begins to weave hand signs quickly. The real Kakashi tells his team, "This is bad. It's the Death Squadron of the Mist Village. They specialize in assassination and other types of very dangerous S-rank missions. We'll have to deal with them. Full force. Kill them all before they kill us. I'll circumvent them and engage from behind, and once I do that, you attack their flank." Naruto, Neji, and Sakura give a stiff nod. The Kakashi clone replies to Ringo saying, "I've heard of you. Quite overrated in my opinion." Ringo scowls. She says, "Do you really believe that I believe that this is the real you, copy ninja? You would never be careless enough to approach 7 elite ninjas by yourself. Kaido, swipe the area." One of the other Mist ninjas begins to reach out with his sensory abilities. The Oni Masked Figure continues to weave hand signs in a very long string of seals. Kabuto continues to observe. Kaido says, "It appears we're surrounded, Captain Ameyuri." Ameyuri says, "So it would seem." Kakashi's clone forms a hand seal and explodes himself, a jutsu he copied from Itachi back in part 1. Ameyuri is forced to pull back. In that moment of distraction, the real Kakashi appears from behind the squad and lands a Raikiri on Kaido, the sensory type Jonin, killing him instantly. Neji, Naruto, and Sakura emerge from the ruins on the other side of the squadron and rush towards Ringo, Ameyuri, and the other ninjas. Before they reach them, however, the Oni Masked Figure finishes his hand signs. "Lightning style, unravel!" He thrusts both hands on the ground and unleashes a gargantuan discharge of lightning that travels through the ground and surrounds Neji, Naruto, and Sakura. They are all electrified, and the ground around them is disintegrated, opening a large hole underneath them. Naruto, Neji, and Sakura begin to fall towards the darkness below, unable to move due to the lightning paralysis. The Oni Masked Figure and Kabuto both rush towards the newly formed hole and jump into it. As they see each other, the Oni Masked Figure slashes at Kabuto, attempting to hit his neck with a kunai, but Kabuto blocks it with his kunai. Kakashi sees his team disappearing in a hole. He rushes towards them, however, 6 Mist Jonins stand between him and the hole. Ameyuri weaves hand signs. "Ice style. Great icicles!" She steps firmly on the ground and huge icicles erupt right underneath Kakashi, who is forced to dodge. The hole on the ground where
Naruto, Sakura, and Neji fell into begins to close. Kakashi attempts to get closer to it, but he is stopped by a barrage of ice spears launched by Ameyuri, as well as other ranged attacks used by her squadron. Kakashi has to dodge and use mud walls to protect himself. The hole is almost completely closed, and then Kakashi sees something strange. A flock of paper butterflies coming from the sky and flying straight into the hole. Soon after the last paper butterfly flies in, the hole is completely closed. Naruto, Sakura, and Neji are still falling and unable to move. They see the tunnels created by the chakra creatures around them and many bright crystals that begin to appear on the rocks that surround them as well. Up above, Naruto sees two figures clashing midair, launching kunais and lightning at each other. His vision is blurry though. He can't see exactly who they are, but he knows they are also falling towards the bottom of this pit. The Oni Masked Figure lands a cake on Kabuto and uses the wall of the cave to dash towards the falling Naruto faster than he can fall. Naruto sees this intimidating figure wearing a red demonic mask approach him. Naruto, who regains some of his movements, he attempts to defend himself, but his muscles are acting funny. The Oni Masked Figure easily breaks his guard and grabs him by the collar, tossing Naruto into a secondary tunnel and then rushes towards him. Naruto loses sight of Neji and Sakura. Neji and Sakura regain their movements, but they are still falling. Above them, they see Kabuto falling towards them as well. They're all confused by it, but Neji launches an air palm towards him. Kabuto gets hit by it, but he also manages to toss a kunai with a paper bomb towards them. The kunai explodes. Neji uses his rotation to block the shockwave, but Sakura is hit. She flies towards another secondary hole, where Neji loses sight of her. Sakura is almost knocked unconscious by the explosion, but she manages to stay awake. She is falling alone now, and the ground is approaching her fast. She hurls her body towards the cave wall and shoves her hands into the stone and crystal, decelerating her fall. She lands in a cave that has several holes leading to all directions. The entire place is illuminated by the crystals that give off light. Neji sees the ground approaching. He turns his hands toward it and expels an air palm from them, decelerating his fall and landing with elegance. Kabuto summons a corpse and uses it as a platform to jump mid-air and decelerate his fall as well. As he's doing that, Neji shoots an air palm towards him. Now from the ground, Kabuto manages to dodge it using the corpse as leverage. He also lands on the ground of the crystal cave close to Neji. Neji says, "Kabuto Yakushi, huh? You'll pay dearly for what you did to my cousin." Kabuto sighs, "I have no time for you right now. Let's just agree to a pact of non-aggression." Neji scoffs and says, "You're out of your mind." Neji dashes towards Kabuto, his Byakugan glaring at him. Kabuto sighs again and says, "Great. Another Hyuga to deal with." Ringo Ameyuri looks at her companion who was just killed by Kakashi and says, "You'll pay for what you just did to Kaido, copy ninja. We were given permission to take anything we wanted from this land, except for one thing, but your funny little eye wasn't that thing. Man, kill him. Just be careful not to destroy his Sharingan." The Death Squadron dashes at Kakashi as he takes a defensive stance. Naruto sees the ground approaching fast. He feels his muscles regaining their movement completely and weaves hand signs. Wind style! Wind schism! Naruto blasts a gust of air towards the ground, decelerating his fall. He lands, not elegantly, but he's not hurt either. He then thinks, "Where's that weirdo?" Naruto looks around and spots the Oni Masked Figure staring at him, the mask without any slits for the eyes. Somehow the figure landed on the ground without making any sound. Naruto assumes a battle stance and yells, "Who the hell are you?"
Naruto Uzumaki, stand down. There is no need for us to fight. I am escorting you back to the Leaf Village.
Right, because you look really trustworthy in that creepy mask. Over my dead body, I'll leave this place and the people who need me.
The situation in the Land of Whirlpools will be dealt with. Don't make me use force. You put the entire Land of Fire in danger by being here.
Handled by you? Yeah, pass. I think I'll take force. Naruto gets hit by an overwhelming force from behind. He's launched dozens of paces in the opposite direction as he hears his joints pop and some ribs crack. That's not the most alarming thing, however. He feels a strange emptiness inside, as though he is completely alone. Naruto sees another Oni Masked Figure standing where he got hit and thinks, Shadow Clone, he was so damn quiet. This will be a tough fight.
I cut the connection between you and the Nine Tails temporarily. Surrender. You are completely outmatched.
Naruto stands up and smiles, forming the Shadow Clone hand sign as he says, The only way you're taking me back to the Leaf Village is by dragging my corpse. The Death Squadron of the Mist Village attacks Kakashi, bombarding him with all sorts of jutsus and throwing weapons amid the ruins of the Uzumaki city. Two of the Mist Jonins launch water jets towards Kakashi, which he blocks by using a mud wall. Two other Jonins then come from behind and toss kunais with paper bombs. Kakashi jumps up, dodging as Ameyuri intercepts him midair, lacing her twin swords with lightning. Kakashi ignites a Raikiri and they begin to clash. Twin blades against the Raikiri. Lightning flashes. As they both move so quick the other Jonins can barely perceive them attacking each other, the Raikiri clashing against the swords and the lightning being expelled from it. The five other Jonins from the Death Squadron position themselves below Kakashi and Ameyuri, launching small water projectiles and kunais towards Kakashi. He knocks the twin blades to the side with his Raikiri and weaves hand signs, deactivating the Raikiri. Wind style, Gale Palm. Using the jutsu he copied from Naruto, Kakashi propels himself mid-air, dodging the incoming attacks and landing in the middle of the ruined building. Four of the other Jonins catch up to him and begin to assault him in taijutsu. Kakashi uses his speed and Sharingan prowess to keep up with all four of them at the same time, trading blows, blocking and dodging. Kakashi moves so quickly he seems to be a blur, throwing dozens of punches and kicks per second. A massive ice spike erupts from the ground right underneath Kakashi, forcing him to jump away. The other Jonin who didn't engage Kakashi in taijutsu appears behind him, weaving hand signs and pointing his right hand towards Kakashi. Sonic Flare! A shockwave of air explodes out of the Mist Jonin's hand, hitting Kakashi, who is sent flying hundreds of paces to the opposite direction. Kakashi manages to land on his feet, but Ameyuri appears from above, weaving hand signs as well. Ice style, Cold Bolts! Dozens of ice spikes manifest midair surrounding her and launch themselves at Kakashi with great speed. Kakashi weaves hand signs, Water style, Water Dragon! A massive water dragon manifests around Kakashi, who uses it as a shield against the ice spikes. Ameyuri thinks, I see, he's not trying to block the spikes with the dragon, he will use the water to change trajectories. The ice spikes impact the water dragon, traveling through the water as the dragon moves, and as it does so, the ice spikes come out of the other side of the water dragon, far away from Kakashi, their paths being diverted. Ameyuri smiles and says, Water Dragon, and you use it so perfectly, as expected from the legendary copy ninja. However, she weaves hand signs again, as the water dragon dashes towards her midair. Ice style, Chill Touch! Ameyuri touches the massive water dragon with her right hand, a split second before it strikes her. As her hand touches the water dragon begins to freeze where she touched it, and the ice soon spreads around the whole dragon, turning into a massive crystalline ice dragon. Kakashi thinks, I better not let her touch me or she could do that to my muscles and blood. Ameyuri weaves hand signs, Ice style, Shattering Shards! The ice spikes that land nearby Kakashi explodes into a million sharp shards of ice. They come at Kakashi from all sides. It's impossible to dodge them all. Kakashi weaves hand signs with insane speed. Fire style, Ember Fog! Fire and ash erupt out of Kakashi's body, exploding outwards and shaking the battlefield with violence. As the ash and fire impact the small ice shards, they melt and do no harm to Kakashi. A cloud of ash then envelops him. Kakashi emerges from it, Raikiri in hand, dashing towards Ameyuri, who's now landed on the ground. She weaves hand signs, Ice style, Ice Dragon! Kakashi's water dragon that she throws over gains life and dashes towards Kakashi. They clash. Raikiri versus Ice Dragon. Kakashi's lightning blade destroys the Ice Dragon as Kakashi cuts through the long, shattering body of ice, sending pieces flying everywhere. He is now going towards Ameyuri. Raikiri still activated. Ameyuri stares at him and ignites her twin blades with lightning again. When Kakashi Kakashi is a couple of paces away from her. Ameyuri sees a Huma Shuriken coming at her. She thinks, damn copy ninja. He used the ash to hide the fact that he tossed his shuriken in a really wide angle, and I couldn't see it approaching because of all the ruins around us. Ameyuri uses one of her swords to slash at the shuriken, destroying it. However, she then realizes something alarming. There was another shuriken hidden under the first one. Ameyuri thinks, this is the Shadow Shuriken Jutsu! I didn't see it! She is forced to use her second blade to destroy the Shadow Shuriken, and now her guard is wide open. Her blades are not protecting her, as Kakashi is about to strike her with his Raikiri. Ameyuri thinks, it appears the copy ninja stories were true. Kakashi moves his right arm to strike. Ninja art! Ensnaring wires! Water style! Water wall! The rest of Ameyuri's squad catches up to them. One Jonin makes wires come out of the ground, grappling Kakashi's foot, making it difficult for him to move forward, as another Jonin creates a water wall between Kakashi and Ameyuri. The Raikiri still pierces through the wall, however, the wall buys Ameyuri a split second that she uses to jump back, and the Raikiri doesn't strike her. Kakashi's Raikiri that's sticking through the water wall then leaps forward, turning into a large lightning hound that dashes towards Ameyuri. She smiles, twists her wrists, and the twin blades that were coated by blue lightning now become coated with green wind-style chakra. Ameyuri thinks, I wanted to use this as a surprise attack, but I have no choice. She says, you know, copy ninja, lightning is weak against wind. The lightning hound dashes towards Ameyuri, but she swings the wind-coated blades in the air, saying, Wind Slicer! The wind chakra leaps from the sword, becoming a thin, flying green blade that cuts through the lightning hound in half, and then cuts the water wall, striking Kakashi, who's only able to move enough to avoid a fatal blow. However, his right arm is chopped right through. Ameyuri smiles and says, I guess I am the legend now. Sakura runs through the cave of crystals. It looks more like a maze because of the countless winding tunnels that she sees. She thinks, this is the worst possible time for us to get separated. Besides, I swear I saw Kabuto when we were falling, and there was someone else too, wearing a strange mask. I have to regroup with the others as soon as I can. Neji and Kabuto engage in a fearsome taijutsu exchange. Neji using the gentle fist, Kabuto using his chakra scalpels. As they trade blows, unable to hit each other, they move quickly through the crystal tunnels underground. Kabuto says, I told you I'm not here to fight the leaf. We don't have to do this. Neji says, you are a bingo book, wanted criminal. Do you really think I'll just let you go, you idiot? Kabuto growls in frustration. He disengages from the exchange and begins to run away from Neji. Kabuto looks around the cave. It seems like he's looking for something. Neji gives chase and begins to shoot air palms towards Kabuto, who is running away. Kabuto jumps, using the cave walls and roof to dodge the air palms. As the air barrages impact the surface of the cave, the bright crystals explode and shatter. Kabuto stops for a second, looking at the destroyed crystals. He sees chakra emerging out of them and heading towards a particular direction in the cave. Neji catches up to Kabuto, assuming a trigram stance. 8 trigrams. 64 palms. Kabuto reacts by biting his thumb and weaving hand signs. Summoning jutsu! A corpse appears between Neji and Kabuto. Neji hits the corpse with his first palm. However, his hand sinks into the corpse, the rotten flesh enveloping his arm and grappling him in place. Kabuto jumps away and forms a hand seal. The corpse explodes, engulfing Neji in the blast. Ameyuri smiles in pride, looking at Kakashi's arm falling on the ground. The real Kakashi emerges from the ground behind Ameyuri as the Kakashi shadow clone who got hit by the wind slicer disappears in white smoke. Kakashi has a Raikiri activated once more as he is about to kill Ameyuri. One of the other Jonin weaves hand sign saying, Pinpoint Sonic Strike! He launches a shockwave that looks more like the air trajectory of a bullet from his hand, straight at Kakashi, who is forced to divert his Raikiri from Ameyuri, and instead, Kakashi cuts the thin shockwave in half with his lightning blade. The two shockwaves impact ruined buildings several meters behind Kakashi, and Ameyuri uses that chance to regroup with her squadron. Kakashi collapses to one knee and spits blood through his mask. The Death Squadron looks at him in surprise, but Kakashi quickly looks up at them and stands back up. Ameyuri thinks, I suppose this took a toll on him, huh? A lot of chakra spent. Still, he would have killed me twice if I wasn't saved. And he used a 4-layered strategy hiding in that ash cloud. First the clone dashing at me, then throwing a shuriken, then the lightning hound, and then coming from the ground to strike me from behind. Ameyuri says to her squadron, we cannot let him separate us, or he'll pick us apart one by one. I get the feeling he let himself get blasted by the first sonic flares. He knew I would come up rushing after him before you guys, and he used that chance to fight me alone. Standing guard. Kakashi thinks, this is bad news. I spent over half of my chakra with that last sequence of jutsus and they couldn't kill her. I suppose their reputation precedes them. Ameyuri looks at Kakashi and tells him, you're strong, copy ninja, but you will feel the wrath of a ninja swordsman of the mist. I've got quite a bit of experience fighting you lot. Ever hear of Zabuza Momochi? Don't compare me with a second-class ninja. Zabuza couldn't hold a candle to me. Somehow, I find that very unlikely. Kakashi dashes away to the middle of one of the ruins. The Death Squadron loses sight of him. They begin to motion a pursuit, but Ameyuri says, no, he's trying to bait us. We must approach with care. As she says that, a dense fog descends upon them. Ameyuri gets very annoyed and says, hiding in mist technique. He wants to piss us off by using the jutsus of our own village against us. Damn copy ninja. Formation F, everyone! As Ameyuri utters that command, the 6 ninjas of the squadron form a circle. They are turned towards the outside of the circle, with the exception of one of the jonins that turns inward, looking inside of the circle to prevent anyone from appearing there and attacking them from behind. Another jonin says, why would he use fog and diminish his own Sharingan prowess? Ameyuri says, according to our records, the copy ninja has a great sense of smell, and as he took down our sensory type, he's on the edge in the situation. He knows where we are and we don't know where he is. Ameyuri turns towards the jonin that uses shockwave and says, Saito, can you blow the mist away with your jutsu? He nods, weaves hand signs and says, Sonic Flare! A shockwave explodes from his hands. However, the Death Squadron is surprised as the fog didn't move one bit after the shockwave was expelled. Ameyuri has a sudden rush of adrenaline as she realizes they are in big trouble, saying, this is not the hiding in mist technique, it's genjutsu! Dispel it right now! In unison, the squadron joins their hands, dispelling the genjutsu. The fog vanishes. However, 2 lightning hounds are dashing towards the circle of ninjas. They are coming from the opposite direction Ameyuri is in relation to the circle. The hounds run next to each other, about 5 meters apart. Ameyuri quickly imbues her twin blades with wind style and shoots 2 wind slicers, one at each hound, saying, too slow, copy ninja. You're not catching me with that jutsu. As the wind slicers are about to hit, the 2 lightning hounds lose their transformation jutsu and revert back to their Kakashi form, turning back into a Kakashi each. Both Kakashis dodge the wind slicers with elegance. The Kakashis are then upon the Death Squadron. The Kakashi on the left raises his right arm, and the Kakashi on the right raises his left arm. Lightning cable! Their extended hands shoot out lightning towards each other, forming a ribbon of lightning that connects itself between them. Kakashi runs through the Death Squadron, cutting 5 jonins in half. Ameyuri looks in disbelief as the upper torso of 5 of her companions falls to the ground as their legs remain standing. Kakashi is about to slice her with the lightning cable. She then swings her twin blades imbued with wind and cuts through the lightning cable. The lightning retracts back into both Kakashi's hands, but they still have a Raikiri each. They then dash at Ameyuri from opposite directions, intending on finishing her off. Ameyuri weaves hand signs quickly, saying, Ice Style! Great Glacier Formation! Gargantuan spikes of ice erupt from all sides around her body, immediately destroying both Kakashi's shadow clones. This massive ice structure appears in a split second in the middle of the Uzumaki city. Ameyuri stands on top of it, panting, not believing what just happened. She thinks, it took me 3 years to form this squadron. After everything I've been through, this man destroyed it in 5 minutes! He tricked us into believing he was using the hiding in mist jutsu, but it was genjutsu. He knew we would think he was using that jutsu to annoy us, so we wouldn't even think twice about the possibility of it being genjutsu, and I didn't even notice it being put under a genjutsu. How did he manage to do it? Was it subtle genjutsu? But when? She remembers it. When Kakashi dropped to one knee and spat blood, all members of the Death Squadron looked at him, and then Kakashi looked at them them with his Sharingan. Ameyuri is outraged. How could they have fallen for that? She thinks he then transformed 2 shadow clones into lightning hounds and dashed toward us. He knew I would use the wind slicer on them, and after that, for a split second, I wouldn't be able to use it again. He then showed the real appearance of the hounds and dodged the wind slicers, and cut through my squadron while I couldn't do anything. He came from the opposite direction, from the direction where I wouldn't be able to cut that lightning cable in melee and avoid the entire squadron to get hit by it. He dissected our abilities and employed a perfect counter after seeing them only once. Ameyuri looks below the ruins, looking for Kakashi. She cannot find him. From a distance, Kakashi looks at the massive glacier that has appeared in the middle of the Uzumaki city. He thinks, I'm glad I used shadow clones for the lightning cable. Getting hit by that thing would have been bad. I was hoping to get them all, but I suppose 5 out of 6 is pretty good. I'm glad they didn't notice that I used the water pigmentation jutsu to pretend I spat blood. I guess using it underground and holding the water in my mouth was the right decision. Though, now I've used most of my chakra and the most dangerous one is still standing. Time for hit and run tactics. Kabuto stares at the smoke caused by the corpse explosion. It spreads around the tunnels of the Cave of Crystals. He then sees a half sphere of chakra in the middle of the smoke, spinning with intensity. Neji used his rotation to tank the explosion blast. Kabuto scowls. Damn Hyugas. Neji dashes towards Kabuto as Kabuto begins to run away once more. However, this time, Kabuto runs towards the direction where the chakra that came out of the shattered crystals was traveling to. Neji keeps on shooting air palms and Kabuto keeps on dodging them. Neji thinks he's following that strange chakra. I had the same idea. Maybe it will take me to the place the energy being Mr. Kajinori told us about is. But I'll have to take care of Kabuto before we get there. Otherwise things will get messy. Naruto creates over 100 shadow clones that stare down the Oni Masked Figure. The single Oni Masked shadow clone regroups with the original and he says, I assure you, Naruto Uzumaki, this shadow clone jutsu will not work against me. The Oni Masked Figure weaves the shadow clone hand sign, creating 2 additional shadow clones. 4 Oni Masked Figures face off against an army of Naruto clones. Naruto smiles and says, That's it? 4? I thought you'd be tougher than that, you weirdo. Hidden amid the ruins, Kakashi finishes a pit trap he armed on the ground of the Uzumaki city. Ameyuri leaves the top of her massive glacier and begins to look for Kakashi amid the ruins. Shurikens fly towards her, being thrown from a hidden spot in the ruins. She uses her twin blades to block them and shoots an ice spike towards that direction. As the ice spike impacts, it reveals the rigged trigger wire that shot the shurikens. Kakashi appears from behind and beheads Ameyuri with a kunai. Ameyuri's corpse turns into water as the real Ameyuri appears behind Kakashi, wind lacing her twin blades. Kakashi performs an uncanny dodge, twisting his body as Ameyuri slashed at him. Kakashi then throws a smoke bomb at the ground that obscures the entire area. Ameyuri quickly rushes out of the smoke and gets ready to battle. Though when the smoke disappears, Kakashi is nowhere to be seen. Ameyuri thinks, damn it, my water clone didn't work. Though it seems he's low on chakra by the way he engaged with me just now. I don't have much chakra either, but at least I can still keep the elemental transformations on my swords. Bring it on, copy ninja. Neji chases Kabuto, launching air palms and clashing taijutsu blows, quickly moving through the tunnels and following the direction of the chakra. None of them manages to get a clear advantage during their fight. Finally, they arrive at a larger, more open section of the cave. They disengage from each other, and what they see in the middle of that chamber is quite strange. A red-haired woman wearing simple clothes. She has a mad smile on her face and she seems to be in great pain. 6 fancy-looking daggers are stabbed around her entire torso, making her bleed from all over her body. The daggers are imbued with chakra that is so potent it leaks from them. Neji looks at her with his Byakugan. Each of the 6 daggers carries so much chakra that it's almost blinding for him to look at. It is the same chakra that is present around the entire Land of Whirlpools, but much more concentrated. It seems the chakra imbued in the daggers both enters the woman's body as well as leaves the daggers to spread around the environment. Neji thinks that's definitely the source of this weird chakra, but the woman, she appears to be the one that was missing. What is this? Kabuto looks at the woman, smiles and says, "You know, I was expecting the mask, but the daggers will do." The red-haired lady says, "You found me! How brave! You dare face Hakusonen? We shall see. Yes, we shall see how powerful you are." Her voice is much louder than it should be. It's so loud that the insides of Neji vibrates as she speaks, and the cave surrounding him shakes. She continues, "How about we have some little fun? I was expecting to stretch out these new muscles." Kakashi, Ameyuri, Sakura, Naruto, and the Oni Masked Figure all hear loud and clear what the red-haired woman just said, even though they are all far away and in different positions. Naruto, surrounded by his army of clones, upon hearing that thinks, "What the hell was this? I don't have time to lose. Sakura and Neji might be in danger." He then looks at the Oni Masked Figure and says, "Enough of this staring contest. I don't have time to waste on you." Naruto and his army of clones dash towards the Oni Masked Figure, who also dashes towards Naruto alongside his 3 clones. An army of Naruto shadow clones clashes with the 4 Oni Masked Figures in a more open section of the crystal cave. A fearsome taijutsu exchange ensues, the Naruto clones outnumbering and surrounding the Oni Masked Figures, who use simple yet fast and precise attacks to fend off the Naruto clones that attack from every direction. The 2 fighters study each other, Naruto using his shadow clones to learn the patterns of the Oni Masked Figure's moves. The Oni Masked Figure destroys some of the clones, about half of the small army. However, Naruto manages to take out the 3 Oni Masked Figure shadow clones, and now about 50 Naruto clones swarm on the original Oni Masked Figure, who is now swinging taijutsu combos in succession, trying to fend off an overwhelming number of clones that come from all sides. 3 of the Naruto clones weave hand signs saying, "Wind style! Great wind schism!" spitting powerful gusts of air and forcing the Oni Masked Figure to dodge, jumping away. 10 Naruto shadow clones come from behind, but the Oni Masked Figure perceives them, turns around, and manages to take out 5 of them in a flurry of taijutsu. But there's just too many of them. They manage to grapple the figure, and a clone lands a massive kick to the Oni Masked Figure's stomach, who is sent flying dozens of paces away. The figure lands on his feet, seemingly unharmed. Naruto has about 20 clones left. He stares at the Oni Masked Figure thinking, "That last kick was weird. My clone definitely hit something, but when I looked at it, it was as though he didn't touch the guy." The Oni Masked Figure says, "You've gotten faster, Naruto. I must say I wasn't expecting you to put up any resistance at all." Naruto thinks, "This bastard, he thinks he's so cool. Still, I better always have some of my clones around me so this guy can come from behind and hit me like he did before. And what he did to me, I never thought I would feel this way, but it's eerie not to feel the presence of the Ninetales." The Oni Masked Figure says, "You're probably wondering how is it possible to cut the connection with the Ninetales." Naruto looks at him in surprise, feeling as though his mind was read. "You're not the only one who knows exotic ninjutsu. Why don't you shut your mouth?" Naruto creates 100 more shadow clones on top of the 20 he already had, thinking, "My kick wasn't good enough. Let's see how this guy handles a Rasengan. I just need an opening." The army of clones dash towards the figure, weaving hand signs, and the figure weaves hand signs as well. The Naruto clones spit a massive barrage of wind bullets. The Oni Masked Figure doesn't even attempt to dodge, and they simply impact him, causing a shockwave to erupt within the cave, lifting dust and cracking crystals all around. The clones continue to dash towards the Oni Masked Figure. From within the smoke, a figure says, "Lightning style, electric paradise!" The ground of the cavern ignites in lightning, taking out dozens upon dozens of shadow clones. The real Naruto is behind the army of clones, says, "Oh, screw that!" He jumps up, narrowly avoiding the lightning, and lands on the cavern wall, concentrating chakra on his feet to walk on it, and begins to weave hand signs. The dust clears, and the Oni Masked Figure remains on the same spot. Naruto
Naruto is taken aback upon seeing that the wind bullets did absolutely no damage. He says, "That was far from being my strongest attack! Wind style! Wind dragon!" A massive wind dragon erupts from Naruto's palms as he stands on the cavern wall. "Lightning style! Lightning dragon!" A massive lightning dragon erupts from the Oni Masked Figure's hands and streaks towards Naruto's wind dragon. The two dragons collide, biting each other. A shockwave of air and lightning hits the cavern all around them. The two dragons attempt to force their way through each other as Naruto and the Oni Masked Figure keep their hands raised, expelling a consistent flow of wind and lightning respectively. Sakura runs through the crystal cave. She begins to hear subtle vibrations that echo around her. She then kneels down and touches her ear on the cave wall, concentrating and trying to find out where the faint vibrations are coming from. She finally identifies the general location and begins to run that way, faster than she was before. The air gets ionized inside of the cave as the two dragons continue to clash. Naruto growls in effort, putting everything he has into the wind dragon, but even still, the lightning dragon is pushing back at the wind dragon. Naruto then remembers the first time he successfully used wind style after Kurotsuchi's lesson. He centers himself, closing his eyes, and thinks about Ichiraku. He's eating delicious ramen, and next to him is Hinata, eating and laughing at a bad joke he made. Naruto opens his eyes and says, "You know what, you weirdo? Wind is strong against lightning!" The wind dragon gains a massive boost, carving through the lightning and destroying it. The lightning beast unravels and the wind dragon impacts the ground, narrowly missing the Oni Masked Figure who manages to dodge. Naruto runs on the roof of the cavern directly above the Oni Masked Figure. He wields a spinning Huma Shuriken that he tosses straight at the Oni Masked Figure below. Naruto and the figure weave hand signs at the same time. Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu! The single flying Huma Shuriken turns into dozens. The Oni Masked Figure is forced to dodge them all with insane agility, finishing his hand signs. The dozens of shurikens that land all around the Oni Masked Figure turn into Naruto shadow clones that dash towards the Oni Masked Figure, and they weave hand seals as well. However, the Oni Masked Figure finishes the signs first. Lightning style, dancing lights! Several orbs of lightning erupt from the Oni Masked Figure's body, streaking towards the dashing Naruto clones. Several of them are hit by the orbs, being dispelled instantly. However, some manage to dodge and reach the Oni Masked Figure. The real Naruto, who stands on the roof directly above, charges a Rasengan, aided by another clone. The clones below engage the Oni Masked Figure, who weaves hand signs saying, "Lightning style, electric ray!" A lightning bolt explodes from the Oni Masked Figure's fingers, and the figure swings his arm, turning the lightning bolt into a whip, hitting several of the clones. Two of them, however, manage to dodge and finish their hand signs, touching the Oni Masked Figure saying, "Ninja art! Acute paralysis!" Sealing signs leap from the two clones' hands and envelop the Oni Masked Figure. For a fleeting instant, he cannot move. Up above on the roof, the Naruto clone uses a Gale Palm to send the real Naruto down. Carrying a Rasengan, Naruto travels through the air with insane speed and lands the Rasengan square on the paralyzed Oni Masked Figure. His two clones on the ground are instantly destroyed as the Rasengan explodes the ground around them in the cave. Naruto shoves his Rasengan against the Oni Masked Figure's chest, who's laying down, pinned down by Naruto and unable to move, as Naruto stands atop in the middle of the crater. However, now Naruto gets confirmation. It's as though the Rasengan hits an invisible wall that protects the Oni Masked Figure's body. Even though the kinetic impact was felt, the Rasengan didn't actually touch the Oni Masked Figure. Naruto tries to force the Rasengan past the invisible wall, and he begins to carve through it slowly. The Oni Masked Figure then regains his movements as the sealing jutsu fades away and swings his arm at Naruto, his fingers enveloped in purple chakra. Wind style! Power vacuum! The clone on the roof swallows a massive amount of air, creating a vacuum that pulls up the real Naruto, dodging the Oni Masked Figure's attack coming from below. The Oni Masked Figure uses that chance to get up and jump back as the Naruto clone lands on the ground, jumping back and looking behind the real Naruto to avoid any sneak attacks. Naruto thinks, yeah, definitely some type of barrier around this guy's body. And even my Rasengan only got a little bit through it. Though, I touched him using the sealing jutsu, so he probably has to activate it somehow. Still, this bastard, he's so slick. Somehow he knew I transformed a clone into a Huma Shuriken on the roof after the wind dragon hit. And he predicted that I would use a fake Shuriken Shadow Clone Clone Jutsu, but instead used the real Shadow Clone Jutsu on them. He weaved hand signs to counter the clones even before I multiplied the shurikens. He's probably really smart. Should I try to run and find Sakura and Neji? No, this place looks like a maze. Who knows where they are? I have to deal with this guy right now. But if the Rasengan did work, do I have to use the Rasen Shuriken? Naruto remembers Sakura telling him that he could lose the ability to mold chakra if he used the Rasen Shuriken again. Naruto scowls in frustration. The Oni Masked Figure says, Sealing Jutsu. I didn't know you were capable of doing that. Naruto's taken aback. What do you know about me? I know everything about you, Naruto. My duty is to protect you and the Nine Tails. Naruto gets outraged. Protect me? Doesn't seem like it. Besides, I don't need your protection, you weirdo. The Oni Masked Figure clenches his right fist. You're making this much harder than it needs to be. Surrender. Naruto smiles in derision and says, Oh, just get ready. This is gonna get much harder for you. Naruto bites his thumb and weaves hand signs. Summoning Jutsu! Kabuto and Neji stare at the red-haired woman in the middle of the chamber. She smiles at them with a crazy expression, beginning to imbue two bugs that were crawling around the cave with chakra. The bugs almost instantly grow in size, turning into ferocious beasts of chakra. One of them dashes at Kabuto, the other dashes at Neji. They begin to fight against the beasts, Kabuto dodging and using his scalpels, Neji jumping around and using air palms, striking the creature with them. The massive bug gets knocked back by the air palm, and Neji uses that chance to blitz the creature and assume his stance. 8 trigrams. 64 palms. He unleashes a gentle fist barrage, finishing off the creature, its weird chakra evaporating as a regular bug appears in its place. The red-haired lady looks at Neji in disgust, saying, I sense Arima's foul chakra in you. You deserve to die! A beam of powerful chakra erupts in the air in front of the red-haired lady, streaking towards Neji, making an unearthly sound that sends shivers through Neji's spine. He has no idea what she's talking about, but nevertheless, he doesn't think it's wise to just stay put while the beam of energy hits him. Neji begins a furious rotation. The beam impacts the rotation chakra shield. Secondary beams shoot to all directions, but Neji manages to block it. He has to maintain the rotation at maximum speed and chakra levels, however, because the lady is not letting up the chakra beam. Kabuto manages to destroy the beast he was facing, assaulting him with several hits from the chakra scalpels. He then sees the lady completely distracted by Neji, with an unhinged smile, attempting to destroy him. Kabuto uses that chance to rush the woman, grasping one of the daggers stabbing her body and trying to yank it out. The dagger doesn't budge at all. The lady then diverts her attention and stops beaming Neji. A chakra shockwave then explodes from around her body and hits Kabuto, sending him flying with great speed, impacting the chamber wall with force. But he begins to heal as soon as he stands up, thinking, it seems simply pulling them out is impossible. The only way to do it is to kill the host. Gamakichi appears as Naruto stands on top of him. He says, Hey, Naruto, what's the deal today? That weirdo in the mask. We have to take care of him. You can sense air vibrations, right? He's very stealthy, so make sure he doesn't sneak up behind us. Gamakichi nods. Use your jumps and leap around the cave. I'm gonna need an opening. And he already knows my sealing jutsu. You got it, Naruto! Gamakichi jumps up, weaving hand signs in conjunction with Naruto. Water style! Great water jet! Wind style! Great wind schism! Gamakichi spits a fast, thick jet of water as Naruto spits a powerful gust of air. They both say, Tempest of Toes! The water and the air mix together, turning into a single powerful jet. The Oni Masked Figure narrowly evades the jet and begins to weave hand signs. Gamakichi lands on the roof and immediately jumps forward, dashing at the Oni Masked Figure. Naruto weaves the Shadow Clone hand seal, still on the Toad's back. Electric Ray! The Oni Masked Figure shoots a lightning bolt, aiming for Gamakichi, but an army of Naruto Shadow Clones manifests itself around them mid-air, several clones appearing in front of the Toad, taking the lightning bolt and being destroyed so that Gamakichi is not. The Shadow Clone army shoots hundreds of wind bullets towards the Oni Masked Figure, who's still on the ground, and dodges them. Whenever
Whenever he gets hit by one, the strange invisible barrier completely blocks the wind bullets. The ground of the cavern is completely pelted by them. But then the clones and Gamakichi reach the Oni Masked Figure, who once more ignites the ground in lightning, destroying the army of clones and forcing Gamakichi to jump up and avoid the electricity. The figure continues to shoot lightning bolts, aiming for Gamakichi, who jumps around the cavern walls, floor, roof to avoid them. Gamakichi says, "What's your plan, Naruto? Long distance doesn't seem to work on this guy and your clones can get close. I need an opening to hit him with melee. Could you stop him with your tongue?" Gamakichi says, still dodging the lightning bolts. "Unlikely. This guy's fast, and if he hits my tongue with lightning, it will go numb and become useless." Naruto growls. Gamakichi then remembers something. "Naruto, you could use Lord Jiraiya's jutsu. We are in a closed space. It will be perfect." Naruto's face drops. "I've never had any luck with a giant toad. Pervy Sage tried to teach me to summon him, but it's not like he's summoning you or Chief Toad. He can refuse to come." "Yeah, that is true. Lord Jiraiya was the only human who was ever able to summon him, but I am not a human. If we both summon him at the same time, in the same place, maybe he'll be persuaded." Naruto nods. "Can you seal off the cavern around us?" Gamakichi weaves hand signs. "Earth style! Mud ball!" He spits 5 large orbs of mud, hitting the 5 tunnel exits around the larger cavern they're in right now. The Oni Masked Figure says,
What is your plan, Naruto? You may jump around avoiding my jutsus with that toad, but the summoning time will eventually run out. You cannot defeat me.
Naruto says, "Just you watch me, you masked weirdo. Shadow Clone Jutsu!" Naruto creates 2 shadow clones. They also stand on Gamakichi's back. Gamakichi says, "When we finish weaving hand signs, we have to touch the surface to complete the summon. That will leave us vulnerable for an instant." Naruto says, "When that happens, he will shoot you with a lightning bolt. He doesn't want to kill me, so when the summon is complete, I want you to bamf out of here." Gamakichi nods. Naruto nods back. Naruto and his clones jump off Gamakichi's back as they are heading towards the ground of the cavern. Gamakichi and Naruto weave the same hand signs simultaneously. They land and touch their hands on the ground saying, "Summoning Art! Toad Stomach Trap!" The thick muscles of the rock-dwelling giant toad of Mao Miyoboku appear around the entire cavern structure. At the same time, the Oni Masked Figure shoots a lightning bolt towards Gamakichi. A split second before the bolt hits him, Gamakichi unsummons himself and the bolt cruises through white smoke, hitting the muscle wall on the other side of the cavern. Naruto smiles, looking at the changed terrain and says, "Mr. Big Toad, can you help me out restrain that weird in the mask? It's urgent!" Naruto stares at the Oni Masked Figure. He's apprehensive. Nothing happens. The Oni Masked Figure then says,
Can you surrender now? Your jutsu didn't work. It is over.
The frog stomach erupts into motion, thick layers of stomach dash at the Oni Masked Figure as his feet sink into the stomach, immobilizing him. The Oni Masked Figure bursts chakra out of his feet, freeing himself and dodging the incoming muscles in the nick of time. The stomach chases after the Oni Masked Figure relentlessly as the figure uses lightning-style kunais with paper bombs anti-jutsu to evade and counterattack the thick muscles. His moves are insanely fast, but there's nowhere to escape. The stomach is beginning to overpower him. Naruto says, "According to Pervy Sage, no one has ever escaped this jutsu." He then thinks, "Except for Itachi and that shark dude, I guess." The Oni Masked Figure shoots 3 massive lightning dragons at the stomach walls. They do some damage, causing large electric explosions, but the wall is nowhere near destroyed. And the stomach still chases after him with unyielding determination. With the assistance of his 2 clones, Naruto begins to form a white Rasengan. The Oni Masked Figure who's dodging the stomach abruptly looks at what Naruto is doing. In that moment of distraction, a part of the stomach hits the figure square on the head, sending him flying. The mask has been cracked. The cracks are leaking a strange red chakra. He lands on his feet and continues to dodge. However, his movement seems slower. Naruto looks at that thinking, "Well, this is not the Rasen Shuriken, but it's more powerful than the normal Rasengan. I hope it works." Wind style! Rasengan! A white Rasengan that emits a loud, high-pitched sound is completely formed in Naruto's hand. Naruto dashes towards the Oni Masked Figure, who's being overwhelmed and hit from all sides by the stomach. The initial blow to his head discombobulated him, and his movements became sloppier. The stomach muscles grab the Oni Masked Figure. He tries to free himself, wailing desperately, but it's too much. All his limbs are grappled and paralyzed by the stomach. Naruto gets within reach, saying, "Take this!" He lands the wind Rasengan Rasengan on the figure's stomach, impacting the invisible shield with amazing force. Naruto doesn't let up. With the figure mobilized, he forces the wind-style Rasengan through it and touches the Oni Masked Figure's stomach with it, who growls in pain. The Rasengan erupts, sending the Oni Masked Figure flying and crashing against the opposite wall with violence. Falling to the ground face up, a section of the figure's cloak was destroyed by the Rasengan, exposing the figure's stomach that is very wounded. Naruto says, "Thanks, Big Toad, I owe you one." The stomach enveloping the cavern fades away, and Gamakichi's mat that was blocking the exits begins to fall to the ground. Naruto looks at the Oni Masked Figure lying on the ground. He is not moving whatsoever, and the mask is leaking that red chakra. Naruto thinks, that's really creepy, but now let's find out who you really are. Naruto weaves hand signs, spitting 3 wind bullets that hit the red cracking mask. The mask breaks. The red chakra expands and forms a cloud of dust that obscures the figure's face. Naruto tenses up, taking a battle stance. His 2 clones do so as well. He doesn't approach the figure, fearful of some trap. The dust finally settles, and Naruto sees the face of Sakura runs through the cave of crystals, following the direction of the vibrations she heard echoing around the cave. She thinks, do these vibrations mean someone is fighting? She then suddenly realizes that the vibrations have stopped. Sakura is taken aback, and she tries to listen for them again, trying to pinpoint if they're actually somewhere else, but they're gone. She thinks, does this mean the fight has ended? It could be anything, but I have to be there right now. Sakura keeps running, no longer aided by the vibrations guiding her, but she still goes towards the direction she thinks the vibrations were coming from. Ameyuri is tense. She stands on top of a ruin in the Uzumaki city, looking for Kakashi amidst the other ruins. The ruin she stands on is tall enough to ensure Kakashi cannot sneak his way up to her from another ruin or through the vegetation. It's one of the tallest buildings in the area. She thinks, this little game of patience. Coward! You kill my squadron, now you play hide and seek? Ameyuri catches herself and thinks, calm down, Ameyuri. If you lose your temper, he's going to kill you. She hears a sound coming from below. As she looks down, she sees a kunai hit the base structure of the ruin. There's a paper bomb in it. More kunais hit the base then from all sides, and they all ignite at the same time. The ruin begins to crumble. Ameyuri jumps away before losing her footing, and she sees the entire building collapsing, thinking, I should have known he wouldn't attack me when I had the high ground. A dozen shurikens streak towards Ameyuri, who's falling towards the ground. She moves her twin blades to block them mid-air. However, as her blade impacts the first shuriken, they ignite into several flashes of light, creating a loud popping sound, blinding and deafening Ameyuri. She uses her memory to block the incoming shurikens even though she can't see. Ameyuri thinks, ninja art flashbang shuriken, huh? I won't be able to see or hear for about 5 seconds, which is more than enough for him to attack me and cut me down. I have no other choice than to spend the rest of my chakra. Ameyuri weaves hand signs. Eye style. Cold orb! She creates a massive orb of ice that envelops her entire body, serving as a barrier that protects her from all sides. Kakashi, who had jumped to intercept her mid-air, hits the ice orb with his kunai, but Ameyuri stays in the middle of it, unharmed, protected by the thick ice. The orb is solid. It's as though Ameyuri is paralyzed by it, but it still serves to protect her. Kakashi lands back on the ground as the massive ice orb falls, creating a small crater amid the Uzumaki city. As it impacts, the ice shatters. The shards fly towards all directions, including Kakashi's, who manages to burrow underground as the shards pass above him. Ameyuri regains her sight and hearing, and she sees the hole created by Kakashi as the orb no longer restrains her. She assumes a defensive stance. Kakashi emerges from the ground behind Ameyuri as she swirls and strikes Kakashi with her blades, no longer imbued by any chakra. Kakashi parries. He is dual-wielding kunais. Kakashi counterattacks, slashing quickly at Ameyuri, prompting her to block. They engage in a quick and ferocious exchange with their weapons, using no chakra to enhance their abilities. Ameyuri says, it seems we're both out of chakra now, huh? Kakashi narrows his eyes, saying, who sent you here? Ameyuri scoffs. says, "You know very well I cannot tell you that, copy ninja." The red-haired lady with 6 daggers stabbed around her body imbues 4 spiders that were crawling around the cave with her strange chakra, transforming them into huge chakra spiders that dash towards Neji and Kabuto in the chamber below the Uzumaki city. They spew webs of powerful chakra, forcing Neji to destroy them with his gentle fist, while Kabuto does the same with his chakra scalpels. They then attack the spiders, however, they are stronger than the bugs they fought before, faster and more durable as well. Neji is forced to dodge the massive spider legs while blocking the webs. Kabuto jumps around the chamber, avoiding the spider, and he tosses 3 kunais towards the woman herself. The dense chakra around her stops the kunais from hitting her. Hidden paper bombs then erupt from the kunais and detonate right next to her, the explosion echoing around the cave, sending dust and small fragments of crystals everywhere. Kabuto and Neji continue to fight the spiders. As the dust from the explosion settles, the red-haired woman is in the same place, completely unharmed by Kabuto's attack, though she is still bleeding from the wounds around her entire torso, where she's been stabbed by daggers. Neji, still fighting against the spiders, looks more closely at her with his Byakugan. He sees a thick layer of chakra formed around her, coming out of the daggers. It protects her entire body. Neji thinks, "I see, it's the same principle as the rotation, expelling chakra and using it as a shield around the body. Though her chakra seems much more wild, and it's not expelled from her chakra points, rather from those weird daggers. They definitely are the source of her powers." And Kabuto tried to yank one of those out and failed to do so. With the gentle fist work on them, but still I can't get close to her. Kabuto evades the spiders and reaches the lady again. He slashes at her with his chakra scalpel. The scalpel impacts the shield and is completely stopped by it. Another shockwave of chakra erupts around the woman, but Kabuto anticipated that. He dashes backwards as soon as his scalpel was blocked, avoiding the incoming chakra. But then a spider comes from behind, attacking Kabuto. He manages to dodge the spider and engages them again. Neji thinks, "Yes, as I suspected, that shield is powerful. His attack did nothing to it. Even still, I have to take care of these spiders first." Sakura stops running through the tunnels, noticing something strange in the cave. Right after 2 tunnels cross paths, Sakura sees that the dust around the tunnel has been displaced to the sides, near the walls of the tunnel. There are no tracks, and Sakura thinks, "This looks as though something was flying here. Could it be one of those chakra beasts?" She resumes her run towards the place where the vibrations were coming from initially, looking around the tunnel for more clues about what was flying here. Neji and Kabuto are both on the defensive, fending off the huge spiders. The red-haired woman looks at them, smiles, and says, "Why don't you just die?" Several shards of chakra erupt from around her body, directed towards Neji and Kabuto. They now have to fight the spiders and dodge the chakra shards. They begin to get overwhelmed by the incoming chakra and the massive beast attacking them at the same time. Neji and Kabuto then look at each other and a silent understanding is reached. They have no choice but to help each other in the situation. Kabuto evades an incoming spider attack and jumps behind Neji. Another spider dashes towards Neji and he rotates to block it. Kabuto uses the rotation as a barrier between him and the spider and weaves hand signs. Summoning jutsu! He summons 4 corpses. The 4 spiders then dash towards them. Kabuto and the corpses jump back. Neji continues his rotation. As all 4 spiders are about to attack the rotation, Neji jumps up in between the spiders, using his air palm to change his trajectory mid-air and dodge the chakra shards that are being shot by the red-haired woman. Neji molds his chakra, creating spikes at the tip of his fingers. Gentle fist. Coalescence. He then uses an air palm to shoot the small spikes of chakra that fly with absurd speed towards the spiders below, hitting and piercing through their hide. The spiders are completely stunned by the attack. The 4 corpses jump, each at one spider, touching them and exploding with violence. The 4 spiders are destroyed destroyed, as they couldn't do anything to defend themselves from the explosion due to Neji's attack. Kabuto then quickly dashes towards the red-haired lady, dodging the jets of chakra that are shot against him. Neji lands on the ground, shooting air palms towards her. The air palms impact the chakra aura around her and do nothing, as another shockwave of chakra erupts from around her, forcing Kabuto to change his trajectory and avoid the blast. Neji and Kabuto now stand at opposite sides from the woman. They look at her, uncertain of how to attack. The chakra around her is too powerful, it will block anything. Neji then says, Aki Uzumaki, right? Please, stop what you're doing. You're hurting innocent people. The woman says, this person is no more. Filthy descendant of Arima. Neji dodges a chakra being shot at him and says, think about your son, please. Her expression suddenly changes. She is completely taken over by horror and pain. Neji sees with his Byakugan that the chakra oozing from the daggers diminishes, and the barrier around her fizzles. The woman looks back at Neji, crying, and her voice becomes much more natural as she says, kill me, please, kill me. Kabuto rushes her from behind, chakra scalpel activated, intending on killing her. There's no chakra shield impeding him anymore. But Neji remembers Naruto promising Yotsu that he would rescue his mom. Neji then shoots an air palm, not towards the woman, but at Kabuto, hitting him straight on and knocking him back. Kabuto is unable to finish his strike, and he does not kill the red-haired woman. Aki's consciousness is completely overtaken again. Neji sees the chakra from the daggers becoming much more intense and returning to the barrier around her body. The red-haired lady says, pathetic woman. Attached to her child. It doesn't matter. Soon enough, I will no longer need her body. She begins to launch even more chakra beams at Neji and Kabuto. Kabuto then says with anger in his expression, you idiots, why did you do that? I was going to finish her off. Neji looks at him and says in a cold, menacing tone, you're not killing her. I won't let you break his promise. Sometimes I wonder if every ninja from the Leaf Village is a complete bonehead. Naruto stares at the Oni Masked Figure laying on the ground, mask broken, but the face covered by a cloud of dust. Naruto assumes a fight stance. He is nervous, waiting for the dust to settle. For some reason, he has a weird feeling as though he's being watched. It unsettles him. The dust finally falls down. Naruto freezes in complete shock. For a long moment, his mind goes blank as he sees the face of Hinata, blood dripping out of her mouth. Naruto thinks, why is Hinata here? Why was she wearing a mask? What's happening? Why did she fight me? What? Naruto then finally understands. He's been put under a genjutsu. He had a funny feeling that the Oni Masked Figure could read his mind, and he did think about Hinata during a moment in the fight. Naruto claps his hands, expelling chakra from his body, attempting to disrupt the genjutsu. Nothing happens. Hinata remains there, laying on the ground, wearing those dark robes. Naruto keeps on expelling the chakra and thinks, I just have to try harder! Even more chakra is expelled from Naruto's body in a great effort, but nothing changes. Naruto begins to breathe heavily, not knowing what to do. This genjutsu won't go away. He bites his hand, attempting to break out of the genjutsu the traditional way, inflicting self-harm. Nothing changes. Naruto bites even harder, digging his teeth into his own skin, drawing blood. Nothing changes. Hinata is still there. Naruto shakes. It is really Hinata, but why? Naruto runs towards her. He feels her pulse. He can't feel it. Her heart isn't beating. No, it can't be. Naruto has to be wrong. He touches his ear to Hinata's chest, trying to listen to her heartbeat. Her heart is definitely not beating. That's to be expected. She got hit by a wind-style Rasengan. Nevertheless, Naruto is completely overtaken by shock. The two shadow clones he had in the cave vanish, Naruto being unable to maintain concentration from sheer terror. He doesn't know what to do. he feels so alone. He can't even feel the Nine-Tails' presence. And he killed Hinata! He killed Hinata! First aid. That's what he has to do. Pervy Sage trained him to do that in emergencies. But he also wished Sakura was here. Chest pumps. He has to resuscitate her. He doesn't know medical ninjutsu, but he has to do something. Naruto prepares to do so. He's never felt so terrified before. Something hits Naruto from behind, causing unbelievable pain. Naruto looks down and sees a spear exiting through his stomach, impaling him. Blood gushes out of the wound as Naruto spits blood as well, spilling it on Hinata. Everything in Naruto's world is pain, physical and psychological. He looks behind him with great effort and sees a blue-haired woman flying with the large white wings. She is far away from him. It seems as though she just got into the cavern and she is wearing an Akatsuki robe. Naruto's vision begins to blur as he motions to create shadow clones. Before he can form the hand signs, the paper spear that was impaling him turns into several pieces of paper covered in Naruto's blood. They then surround Naruto's arms, completely immobilizing him in a very quick motion, not allowing Naruto to finish his hand seal. The woman sends even more paper towards Naruto, completely covering his body. Naruto can't see anymore, he can't move either, and the papers begin to squeeze him with unbelievable force. How could simple piece of paper be this strong? Naruto begins to lose consciousness, completely unable to do anything. The last thoughts that come to his mind before he passes out are sheer terror about what's gonna happen to Hinata. Konan finishes knocking the Jinchuriki unconscious. She can feel through her paper when the body of the target grows limp, but she has to make sure he isn't dead. The papers themselves will serve to staunch Naruto's bleeding. Konan thinks, "You were right to send me here, Pain. Who would have thought I would be able to capture the Nine-Tails so easily?" Though she didn't quite understand the situation here, it seemed to her that the Jinchuriki wanted to help his attacker after defeating her. Perhaps he's just that compassionate. Nevertheless, this is great news. Now the Akatsuki will be able to accelerate their plans. They weren't expecting to capture the Nine-Tails so soon. Konan just has to go back to the rain village to begin the extraction. An ethereal black and white girl grapples Konan, choking the air out of her. She thinks, "Genjutsu? What?" Sakura jumps from behind and lands a massive punch on Konan's back mid-air, blowing away half of her torso that turns into paper immediately. Konan impacts the other side of the cavern with great force. Before Konan can react, Sakura casts another genjutsu, releasing her inner self to once again immobilize the Akatsuki member. Konan stands still, paralyzed in a small crater created on the wall from her impact. Sakura lands on the ground and sees Hinata knocked unconscious and wounded, wearing dark robes. What's Hinata doing here? Sakura then remembers that strange masked figure that fell with them. It was wearing similar clothes. Sakura then thinks in shock, "Hinata, don't tell me that you're in the root to that mask." Sakura assesses Hinata's situation and begins to heal her immediately. She sees the wound on Hinata's stomach thinking, "This looks like the Rasen Shuriken damage, but on a smaller scale, maybe a smaller variant." Did she really fight Naruto? Sakura manages to reanimate Hinata with her medical ninjutsu. Her breaths are shallow and she is still unconscious, however. Sakura then looks at Naruto covered in papers and begins to yank them out. They're surprisingly tough to rip. Konan centers herself as she is still being grappled by Sakura's weird avatar. A piece of paper leaves her chest and gently taps Konan's forehead, releasing a wave of chakra and breaking the genjutsu. She then launches a barrage of shurikens towards Sakura, who grabs Naruto and Hinata and dodges them. Sakura thinks, "What? She's not dead? I used the genjutsu just to make sure she would stay there, but..." Konan's half-blown torso begins to regrow as the pieces of paper that were blown away begin to coalesce back into her body. She flies above Sakura, Hinata, and Naruto. Still half covered in paper, Konan commands her paper to bring Naruto to her. Sakura grabs Naruto, not letting her do that, as the two initiate a tug-of-war with a bleeding, unconscious Naruto. Konan says, "Give me the Jinchuriki and no one else else needs to get hurt. Sakura looks at her and says, how about you let him go and I don't kill you? Konan remains silent. Sakura smiles and says, thought so. She lets go of Naruto and jumps towards Konan, weaving hand signs. Sakura jumps towards Konan, who's flying above her in the crystal cave. Sakura weaves hand signs saying, Genjutsu, drowning paralysis. A sphere of water manifests itself around Konan's head, but she was ready. She left a piece of paper drifting around her body. As soon as the Genjutsu affects her, the paper taps her shoulder, releasing a wave of chakra, breaking her out. Before Sakura hits Konan with a taijutsu attack, Konan uses her wings to dodge Sakura's strike. As Sakura passes by her, Konan throws several shurikens at her. Sakura lands on the cavern wall and dodges the shurikens with remarkable agility. The shurikens impact the wall around Sakura. They burst into a dozen paper bombs and all ignite around her. She jumps away, avoiding the explosions that rock the cavern. Sakura lands on the ground, but Konan uses that time to snatch Naruto using her papers to lift him up. She leaves the cavern through a tunnel exit, flying with Naruto at her side. Sakura looks at Hinata, unconscious on the ground. Hinata stirs. Sakura makes a snap decision. She goes after Konan, leaving Hinata behind. Sakura jumps in the tunnel and runs after Konan, who tosses several paper shurikens at Sakura. Grabbing two kunais, one in each hand, Sakura blocks and dodges the incoming barrage. Konan uses her papers to clog the tunnel, blocking Sakura's path. She deduces the paper barrier has paper bombs mixed within as well. Sakura pulls 6 kunais from her satchel, tied up to paper bombs, and tosses them towards the barrier. The paper bombs detonate, igniting the other bombs within the barrier. Sakura keeps going. She loses sight of Konan, but knows to look for the displaced dust caused by Konan's flight. Sakura finds the trail and pursues her. Still, she can't see Konan, and that's frustrating. Naruto is getting away. A dozen paper planes streak towards Sakura, coming from Konan's direction. Sakura uses her agility again to dodge. They explode, and Sakura thinks she's heading to the surface. She wants to fight in an open field where she can use her flight to the fullest. I have to catch up before we emerge. Still, my punch should have at least debilitated her. It seems she can turn her body into little pieces of paper and negate physical attacks. The tunnel Sakura's running through finally exits at another large cavern chamber. She sees Konan flying about 50 meters away from her, dragging Naruto through the air with her papers. She's close to the roof. It seems she can't fly as fast, while she has to bring Naruto with her. Konan's going up towards a tunnel exit on the cavern roof. Sakura imbues her hands with chakra and thrusts her fingers into the crystal cavern wall and yanks a massive rock from the wall, tossing it upwards with violence, aiming for Konan. Konan notices the rock and veers left, avoiding it. The rock then impacts the exit on the roof, completely blocking it. Konan realizes that the rock wasn't aimed at her. The girl aimed at the exit so that she couldn't escape. She really wants to fight. Why? She's so weak. Konan knows that as long as she manages to avoid the copy ninja, none of these kids will pose any threat to her. Konan says, very well then. If you want to fight me for the Jinchuriki, so be it. It's admirable, but remember, you could have given up. Sakura says, you don't know us, do you? We would never let a comrade fall in your hands. You're the scum of the world. You know nothing about this world, child. And even if you did, you're not strong enough to do anything about it. Those words sting Sakura more than she wants to admit. She remembers a crowd laughing at her, and Sasuke evading her attacks without a care in the world. She has been so worthless. Sakura says, I'm not weak. Yes, you are. You try to hide it under a tough facade, but I can see through it. You are overshadowed by your more competent friends, like this Jinchuriki. In her mind's eye, Sakura sees the backs of Naruto and Sasuke standing in front of her. She doesn't know what to say. Somehow this woman could see through her deepest insecurities. Don't worry, I'll finish this quick. back. Konan unleashes a barrage of papers down towards Sakura. Kakashi and Ameyuri trade blows with blinding speed. Kakashi dual wields 2 kunais and Ameyuri dual wields her twin blades. They jump from ruin to ruin using the terrain to try to get an edge in the fight, running on walls, standing on cracked rooftops, and using columns to get cover. Ameyuri says, "This fight is useless, copy ninja. I've already failed my mission. So long as you're a threat to the Leaf Village, I won't let you live. I'm leaving this place. I'm not a threat anymore." "You are as long as you don't tell me who hired you." "No, that I can't tell you. You know the Shinobi Code. I can't disobey the parameters of my mission or betray my client. And I cannot let a threat to my village go unchecked." They keep fighting, darting through the ruined city. Sakura dodges the paper barrage, yet it's too much paper and they're fast. Some of them manage to grapple Sakura's right arm. She flexes her muscles and uses her strength to break free of the grapple, but realizes there are paper bombs mixed with them. Sakura jumps back. The paper bombs ignite, hitting her. The explosions burn her arm and the shockwave sends her crashing on the cavern wall, hitting her head. As soon as she hits the wall, Konan launches a barrage of paper shurikens towards her. Sakura's vision blurs and the world spins. She can only barely see the shurikens coming at her, but she centers herself and jumps to the right, trying to dodge. But she can't dodge them all. 5 shurikens hit Sakura. Though she manages to block 4 with her arms, avoiding more dangerous wounds. She feels the shurikens digging into the bones in her forearm. The 5th shuriken slips through her guard and pierces her lower torso. The abdomen muscles rip, and Konan doesn't give her time to heal. More shurikens come streaking down towards Sakura. She once again infuses chakra on her hand. She then digs her fingers into the ground and lifts a massive piece of rock. Copying what Rock Lee did all those years ago to protect her in the Forest of Death, Sakura blocks the incoming shurikens. They explode, destroying the rock, but this bought time for Sakura to weave hand signs. Genjutsu, inner self release. Sakura casts her genjutsu on Konan. The black and white avatar grapples her. Konan knows she isn't physically grappled, but this paralysis genjutsu is powerful. Sakura jumps up. She doesn't go after Konan, but tries to reach Naruto. Once again, a paper flies and hits Konan's shoulder, releasing chakra and dispelling the genjutsu. Sakura sees that and understands how she's breaking free. The Akatsuki is impressive. It requires a lot of concentration and willpower to keep a jutsu activated when attacked by her inner self. Konan slings a barrage of papers towards her, and Sakura can't dodge them all mid-air. The swarm of paper engulfs her entire body. Sakura can't move, see, or breathe. She attempts to muster her strength to break out of it, managing to shave some of the paper away, but more paper comes in, covering her on an even thicker layer, patching up the section Sakura had broken. The papers squeeze her with almighty force. Sakura feels her consciousness fading. Neji Hyuga finds himself in a weird situation. He is locked in a 3-way battle versus Kabuto and the red-haired woman. The intentions of the 3 fighters are completely different. Kabuto wants to kill the red-haired woman. Neji wants to protect her and try to save him from whatever curse afflicts her, and also capture Kabuto. In the meantime, the red-haired woman, or rather, Saxonen's goals, are unknown. Saxonen is a strange name. This is what that thing called itself. But Neji saw Aki, the real woman, the mother. She was still alive and could still resist. He will try everything to make Naruto's promise to Yotsu a reality. After all, he owes him too much. He has to save the woman. Kabuto assaults Saxonen with chakra scalpels. The possessed woman uses chakra shields to block them. Neji unleashes a barrage of air palms towards both of them and Kabuto gets hit, flying backwards. Saxonen blocks the compressed air. The red-haired woman aims her hands at Neji, unleashing countless modes of chakra towards him. He rotates, blocking the incoming chakra, diverting the modes directions. They hit the walls, cracking the cavern and breaking the crystals apart. Weaving Waving hand signs, Kabuto casts a paralysis genjutsu on Saksonen, but the genjutsu doesn't bind. The cursed chakra is too intense and immediately breaks it off. Kabuto deduces only a much more powerful genjutsu would work on it. Saksonen says, "Foolish human, you think this pathetic chakra will work on me?" The curse raises Aki's hands. She shoots chakra towards several worms crawling on the ground. Her chakra appears stronger than before and the worms turn into gargantuan chakra beasts. The elongated body of the beast then attack Neji and Kabuto. Sakura can't feel anything. The last embers of her consciousness are about to fade, her life about to be extinguished by the paper. She thinks, in the end, I couldn't save Naruto or bring Sasuke back. I've always been worthless. She would cry if the papers didn't shut her eyes by force. What are you saying, idiot? Sakura is caught by surprise. Her inner self is screaming at her. Are you just gonna give up? I can't do anything. She was too strong. And I'm just gonna stand here crying and die? What would you have me do then? Fight back. But how? Don't you remember what Master said all those years ago? A younger Sakura dodges a barrage of shurikens. One of the shurikens nicks her shoulder. Sakura motions to heal it, but Tsunade doesn't let her. She lunges at Sakura, kicking downwards. Sakura manages to get out of the way, and Tsunade impacts the ground, cracking it. Sakura knows Tsunade is spilling her punches. Still, she felt the wind rush hitting her face, caused by Tsunade's sheer strength. That woman is terrifying. Tsunade says, "Don't think that your enemies will let you heal on the battlefield." Tsunade engages Sakura in taijutsu. Sakura assumes a defensive stance. She's gotten faster still. Looking at Tsunade, she feels pathetic. She cannot fathom the abyss that separates her strength from her master's. You must never let yourself be killed, Sakura, or there won't be anyone on the battlefield to heal your squadron. Tsunade hits a punch on Sakura's stomach. Searing pain emanates from the impact and Sakura gasps for air. Control your chakra. Counterattack. You have to keep cool, even if you're under distress. Gritting her teeth, Sakura infuses chakra on her right hand and punches back. The sun catches her hand with the most casual motion Sakura's ever seen. Dancing around Sakura, Tsunade grapples her with a swift chokehold. Good. Your chakra control has gotten even better, but what are you gonna do about this? She applies more force to the chokehold. Sakura wails, throwing wild kicks and punches. Tsunade doesn't even bother blocking them. They do nothing to her. Sakura feels as though she is punching a steel wall. Her knuckles begin to bleed and her consciousness is slipping out. There's no option other than tapping. Tsunade lets her go and she coughs, falling prone. You know, you can't tap in the middle of a real battle. I know, but I had no choice. There's always a choice, Sakura. Is this about the last shooting exams? No. I told you shouldn't be ashamed of that. It's easy for you to say you weren't the one the entire arena was laughing at. I told you not to worry, you'll become a Chunin soon enough. It's not about becoming a Chunin or not. Naruto's probably out there getting really strong, while I'm lagging behind. You're not lagging behind, you are getting stronger, Sakura. I don't understand why you're so negative. Your healing abilities are already better than most. Not to mention your genjutsu is also getting powerful. This won't do. The way things are going, I'll never be strong enough to bring him back. Idiot, if you keep on thinking that you're weak, then you'll never get strong. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You have to stop doubting yourself so much. You have a strong will, even stronger than mine. When you learn to accept who you are, you'll be able to manifest that will and use it to become the strongest kunoichi out there. Come on, Sakura! Do something! The inner self yells. Sakura knows she only has a couple of seconds of consciousness left. I can't. I'm not you. Is that your concern? We are one and the same, you stupid idiots! Naruto needs us right now! I know. I can't be weak, but there's no but. They think you're weak, don't they? Show them how strong you are. Konan strangles the poor Leaf Village girl. She finally ceases to struggle. It's done. The black and white avatar breaks the layer of paper covering the girl and rushes towards Konan. Genjutsu again. Somehow the girl managed to cast it at the end of her life. Konan commands one of her papers to break the genjutsu, tapping her shoulder. It does not vanish. The avatar screams, Shanara! punching Konan in the chest. The force of the blow makes Konan crash on the cavern wall. Her chest explodes into pieces of paper. It can be. This time it wasn't a genjutsu. The avatar flies towards Konan once more, ready to strike. Konan flies upward. The avatar punches the cavern wall, breaking it apart. Sakura frees herself from the paper grapple and lands on the ground. Her doubts have vanished. She jumps up, casting a genjutsu on Konan. Konan quickly releases it, but the avatar is upon her once again. Somehow he can fly without wings. Sakura grabs Naruto and yanks the paper out of around his body. Konan tosses a large paper shuriken towards the avatar, who dodges it and lands a kick on Konan mid-air. Konan thinks, how? This thing is some sort of chakra manifestation, but why didn't she use it before? Sakura says, you don't get it, do you? Someone like you would never go to any lengths to protect her friends. Konan gets outraged. This girl doesn't know anything. Sakura secures Naruto, carrying him on her back. Konan yells, I won't let you take the Jinchuriki! She creates 20 paper clones. 10 of them engage the avatar, while the rest descend upon Sakura. Sakura thinks, I can only maintain the inner self manifestation for 2 minutes. I have to decide this now. The paper clones toss a mind-numbing amount of shurikens towards Sakura and Naruto. Sakura reaches towards the ground to use the same defense as before, lifting a section of it. However, the paper shurikens morph into paper butterflies. They circumvent the earth shield and explode around Sakura, engulfing her and Naruto in fire. The clones launch themselves against the inner self avatar, detonating all at the same time. The avatar is destroyed. Sakura suffers severe wounds from the explosion, but there's no time for pain. She looks at Naruto and he's even worse. The other clones reach Sakura and she engages them in taijutsu. She blows several of them into pieces of paper with powerful kicks and punches, but she has to carry Naruto while fighting. Her movements are slower than usual, meaning she takes some hits. The clones are about to detonate as well. Dashing backwards, she avoids the explosions. A cloud of paper butterflies passes through Sakura, coalescing into Konan behind her. Konan strikes with a paper spear. Sakura blocks it, grabbing it by the blunt shaft, but a dozen shurikens hit Sakura on the back. They pierce through her muscles, one puncturing her left lung. The air escapes her, and Sakura realizes too late that Konan left one of her paper clones in reserve. She transformed it into scattered pieces of paper and waited for the opportune moment to coalesce back into the clone and attack Sakura from behind. Konan masked it by detonating the other clones at the same time when destroying Sakura's inner self manifestation. That way Sakura couldn't count how many exploded, and she used the cloud of ash to hide the last remaining clone, turning it into a cluster of paper. Konan snatches Naruto again and flies up. The paper shurikens on Sakura's back begin to smoke. They're about to blow Sakura into pieces. She thinks, you can't tap in the middle of a real battle, Sakura. Concentrating herself and knowing the avatar isn't someone within her, but a piece of her, she manages to once more manifest it. The black and white doppelganger emerges from Sakura's back, yanking the shurikens out of her and tossing them into the distance. They explode a split second after they're thrown. Konan explodes the blocked exit with paper bombs and flies out of the chamber with Naruto. Sakura stretches her hands and heals her several wounds. She thinks, keeping the inner self manifestation up takes too much chakra, and I can only do it 2 times now, which means I have 2 minutes to catch up to her and get Naruto back. The inner self avatar then grabs Sakura and lifts her, flying after Konan. Sparks fly as Ameyuri and Kakashi trade blows with their steel weapons. Ameyuri dodges a kunai strike. She uses one of her twin fangs to control the other kunai, giving her an opening, kicking Kakashi straight on the face. Kakashi jumps back, doing a long backflip. Ameyuri tosses shurikens at him mid-air, but he easily blocks them with the kunais. Kakashi lands 10 meters away from Ameyuri. They both pant, their muscles heavy from the extended battle. In the distance, several massive worms erupt out of the ground. Kakashi and Ameyuri see a couple of people fighting against them, and also a strange, powerful chakra rising into the air. These worms are much bigger than the beasts they fought before. Ameyuri says, "There's my target. It appears I may be able to get my target after all. Let's finish this now, Copy Ninja." Yes, let's. Neji and Kabuto emerge back to the surface, using what once was a manhole in the middle of the Uzumaki city. The worms then erupt out of the ground, sending ruins and rocks flying everywhere. Saksonen hovers behind, rising to the surface with a gentle and menacing air. Once I take over your chakras, you will serve me for eternity as disfigured beasts. Neji sees with his Byakugan. Saksonen is building up a mind-numbing amount of that strange chakra. The worms then attack him and Kabuto. Konan destroys a section of the cavern roof above her. She emerges back on the surface, her paper still carrying Naruto on her side. Massive worms are clashing against something in the distance, and grey chakra emanates from that direction. Konan decides to go the opposite way. Behind her, the hole she emerged from fully regenerates. It then erupts once more. Sakura punched through it. She is being carried through the air by the strange chakra manifestation, chasing after Konan. So stubborn. Konan launches paper shurikens towards them. The inner self avatar turns its back towards Konan, covering Sakura and still flying up. The avatar blocks the shurikens from hitting Sakura with her back. They pierce the strange black and white chakra. Before they ignite, the avatar hurls Sakura towards Konan with amazing speed. Sakura flies towards her unassisted as the avatar explodes and fades behind her. Konan says, "Idiot, you can't dodge midair." Konan launches a paper spear, hitting Sakura's forehead. The spear exits from the back of her skull, a clean death. Neji manages to destroy two of the massive worms using a barrage of gentle fist attacks. He can't see Kabuto anymore. He must have left his limited Byakugan range. The remaining worms begin to swarm on Neji. Saksonen shouts, "More! More!" The chakra within Aki's body grows, even more intense, shooting a beam of energy at Neji. He then uses his rotation to divert its direction, but the rotation stops, cancelled by the beam. A worm comes crashing down Neji. He won't be able to reactivate his rotation in time. It's over. A massive lightning dragon hits the worm, destroying it before it hits Neji. He looks up. It can't be. He sees Hinata. Her right hand is shivering with wisps of lightning. She wears a black Anbu outfit. Her Byakugan is activated, but her stomach is exposed and wounded. Why on earth is she here? And since when does she know lightning style? No time to wonder. Neji attacks the incoming worm. Hinata jumps in and begins to assist him. He says, "What are you doing here?" Hinata ignores the question, saying, "Where's Naruto?" They both land a combined barrage of gentle fist attacks, destroying another worm. "I don't know. We got separated." Hinata stumbles, spitting blood. It seems she's more wounded than she's letting on. "We need to get you to Sakura." "No!" She points towards Saksonen. "We need to kill that thing before it gets to Naruto." "We can't! She's possessed! The woman is innocent!" Hinata spits more blood. "It doesn't matter. Naruto's safety supersedes anything." Konan watches Sakura's limp body falling to the ground as she flies away. Blood trails from the back of Sakura's head. A kick hits Konan's neck, beheading her. Instead of blood, paper flows from her head and neck. Konan's detached head sees Sakura grabbing Naruto and falling back down. She then looks at Sakura's falling body. It's no longer there. Genjutsu. And this time, it was subtle genjutsu. She wasn't expecting that. The girl probably weaved hand signs when the avatar covered her from the shurikens. Konan couldn't see Sakura at that moment. The perfect chance to weave hand signs undetected. Sakura trusted that Konan wouldn't be expecting a subtle genjutsu. Every single genjutsu she used during the fight was forceful. And if Konan doesn't realize she is under a genjutsu, then she wouldn't know she needed to break out of one. That let Sakura approach her undetected while Konan thought she had gotten her, snatching Naruto away. Konan's head reattaches itself to her flying body as the two paper parts come back together. Sakura lands on the ground carrying Naruto, creating a small crater. She fell from very high up. Her knees scream in pain. She is sure she broke some ligaments. Looking up, Sakura sees Konan diving towards her. cutting the air. She should have known that beheading wouldn't work. What's worse, Sakura's completely out of chakra. She begins to run, ignoring her screaming knees. Paper shurikens fly towards her direction. Sakura ducks for cover behind a ruined wall. The wall behind her explodes, and a menacing angelic figure lands 10 meters in front of her, wielding a paper spear. Pieces of paper fall from the sky above, attaching themselves to Sakura and paralyzing her movements. Konan dashes towards Sakura, flying close to the ground, preparing a strike to kill her with a spear. After staring at each other for a long moment, reading every micro-expression on each other's face, Ameyuri dashes at Kakashi. He's about 10 meters away from her. As she's about 3 meters away from him, the ground beneath her gives, and Ameyuri falls into a pit trap. The copy ninja laid it there before re-engaging her. It was so well camouflaged that Ameyuri didn't even suspect it. She realizes that after she kicked the copy ninja's face, he jumped backwards, leaving the pit trap between them. She was lured in. That man. How many times is she going to fall for his traps? To further complicate her situation, several wooden stakes lay on the bottom of the pit. Before hitting the ground, Ameyuri swings her swords, breaking the stakes. The fall hurts as she lands on broken pieces of wood. Kakashi jumps down the pit. He uses the last drops of his chakra to ignite a Raikiri. He's almost upon her. She won't be able to do anything. She doesn't have time to turn around and dodge or defend herself. Ameyuri closes her eyes, and in her last moments, within her deepest thoughts, she concedes. The copy ninja is a better shinobi than her. Neji and Hinata fight together against the worms, using their gentle fists to cover for each other. Neji feels great synergy with Hinata, even though they haven't trained together for years now. They use rotations to block the incoming attacks, and counterattack with lightning style for Hinata, and the gentle fist coalescence for Neji. The Hyuga duo managed to destroy all the worms. Only Saksonen remains, exuding a chakra that almost blinds their Byakugans. Hinata spits blood once more. We have to kill it. Hinata, wait. She waves hand signs and shoots a lightning dragon at Saksonen. The curse opens Aki's mouth and shouts a guttural roar. A powerful chakra wave erupts from her body, expanding and hitting the lightning dragon. The dragon freezes in place, morphing into a dragon of glass. It crashes on the ground, breaking into 1,000 shards. The wave continues to expand. As Konan's spear is about to pierce Sakura's forehead, the wave hits them. Konan's paper spear turns into ash. The wind blows the ash away, doing no harm to Sakura. The paper paralyzing Sakura turns into harmless ash as well, freeing her. The same happens to Konan's paper wings, making her fall face first to the ground in front of Sakura. Take this! She uses that opening and lands a massive kick on Konan's head, releasing all her anger at it. The head doesn't turn into paper this time. Sakura hears Konan's skull cracking. The power of the attack launches her dozens of meters into the distance, disappearing amid the ruins. Ameyuri feels the electricity oozing around her in the pit. The Raikiri is about to pierce her heart. At least the copy ninja will make it quick. The wave of chakra hits them. The lightning on Kakashi's hand turns into fire. He's never seen anything like it. His chakra nature changes at will. Kakashi roars in pain. His own Raikiri is for whatever reason burning him. He tries to turn the jutsu off, but his Raikiri erupts into flames, engulfing him and Ameyuri. A tall column of fire rises into the air, coming out of the pit, as both Kakashi and Ameyuri scream in burning agony. In the distance, Neji sees a column of fire erupt into the air. Maybe that's a sign. Hinata falls prone next to him, spitting blood. Saksonen's chakra has coalesced into a massive multicolored orb that surrounds Aki's body. There isn't much he can do by himself here. He picks Hinata up, jumping away. She says, "No, we can't let this thing live." There's nothing we can do about it right now. He dashes towards the direction of the column of fire, hoping it's one of his friends. Sakura lost sight of Konan after kicking her into the distance. That kick was nasty. Still, better not to stay here and find out if she survived. She had to find her friends. Sakura looks at Naruto, lying unconscious right next to her. He's in bad shape, having suffered nasty burns burns from the explosions of the Akatsuki member. There's also the stabbing wound he suffered before Sakura arrived at the location. She feels great relief knowing she managed to staunch the bleeding from that wound before. It's so strange though. Why isn't the Nine Tails' chakra healing Naruto? Sakura is out of chakra. There's nothing she can do for him right now, so she picks up Naruto and begins to scout the area, looking for her other friends. She may be imagining things, but she saw a column of fire in the distance. It happened right after the chakra wave that saved her passed by. Maybe that's a good place to start looking for them. Sakura fears the worst, but she cannot be negative right now. Her friends have to be alive. There's also the matter of Hinata. Sakura left her down there. She isn't sure if she can even trust Hinata. After all, everything indicates she fought Naruto for whatever reason. What in the world is happening? Sakura clears her thoughts. She focuses on finding her allies, keeping her guard high for any possible enemies nearby. Kakashi feels the pain of 1,000 needles piercing every square inch of his body. He lays on the ground, burned down on the bottom of the pit trap. It's difficult to move his arms or legs. Still, Kakashi tries to get up. You should thank me, Copy Ninja. You were so close to me that my cold aura ninjutsu protected you from the fire too. Ameyuri lies next to Kakashi. She looks as bad as he does, also having trouble moving. I thought you were out of chakra, Kakashi says. I thought so too. Turns out that getting burned to death triggered a reaction in me. I used my jutsu without thinking. I didn't know I still had chakra, but anyways, I managed to save us. What about a truce? I don't think there's a point in a fight between two burn victims. I agree. What happened to your jutsu? Why did it turn into fire all of a sudden? I don't know. A wave of power hit me and my chakra nature transformed against my will. It's probably the thing that's been plaguing this place. Indeed. The thing I was hired to destroy. Someone hired you to destroy it, but you seemed rather keen on taking my left eye. Well, we weren't paid in cash exactly. Voices come from above the pit. Kakashi looks up and sees Mr. Kajinori along with other Uzumaki natives. Are you alright down there? We're alive, Kakashi replies. They toss ropes, letting Kakashi and Ameyuri climb up the pit. We heard so many tremors and explosions, we figured you'd need some help. And then we saw this column of fire. We came as fast as we could to help out. Kajinori looks at Ameyuri. Who are you, by the way? Long story. As she says that, Kakashi ties her wrists with one of the ropes that they use to climb up the pit. Is that really necessary? I'm afraid so. There are about 15 Uzumakis with them, including the boy Yotsu. Kakashi doesn't like that one bit. These people don't know what they're getting themselves into. You have to go back to your homes. I cannot guarantee your safety out here, Kakashi says. No, we have to fight. I will not abandon my mom, Yotsu says. Where's Naruto? I don't know, Kakashi says. But you can trust Naruto. Voices come from the left. Kakashi sees Neji carrying a wounded Hinata against her will. Neji, put me down. We have to go back, Hinata says. We can't. It's not safe. We have to regroup, Neji says. Kakashi has seen the clothes Hinata is wearing before. It can't be. She's wearing a root uniform, a black outfit optimized for stealth and assassination. When they don't wear cloaks and hoods, that's what they favor. Kakashi knew Danzo had spies everywhere, but Hinata? He would have never guessed that. Well, that's what makes a good spy, though. Danzo likely sent her here to spy on Naruto. Kakashi wonders how many times she's done that before during their missions. Neji, step away from her. It's not safe, Kakashi says, pulling a kunai, pointing it at Hinata. Captain Kakashi, trust me. That's the real Hinata. I can recognize her chakra signature with my Byakugan, Neji says. That's not it. She's a root Anbu member. She works for Danzo and could kill you anytime. Shock, washes over Neji. He lets Hinata go and she falls on her knee, spitting blood again. Is that true, Hinata? Konan feels as though her head is about to explode. What happened to her jutsu? Why did it fail at the last moment? She felt like a wave of chakra hit her, but still, how could she lose to that girl? She failed Nagato and the Akatsuki. She couldn't capture the Nine Tails. Try not to move. Konan hears a muffled voice talking to her. She tries to open her eyes, but she can't. Her eyelids weigh more than a mountain. Don't struggle. I'm healing you. Who are you? Konan says. An unexpected ally. Hinata is completely silent. She doesn't answer Neji or even meets his eyes. Why would you do that, Hinata? Say something, Neji says. Sakura arrives at the scene carrying Naruto on her back. Yotsu runs towards him saying, "Is he okay? Is he okay?" Sakura puts Naruto on the ground. She smiles at Yotsu saying, "Don't worry, Naruto is tough, he'll be alright." She looks at Hinata. Sakura's face is cold. Why did you fight Naruto, Hinata, and why are you here? My mission is to bring Naruto safe back to the Leaf Village. I didn't hurt him one bit. So you're a spy, Hinata. After all this time, you've been doing this behind our back, Sakura says. Even fighting Naruto? Well, that's what spies do, Sakura, Kakashi says. What I've been doing is irrelevant. What happened to Naruto? The Akatsuki is here. I fought against a woman that can use paper. She almost got Naruto and killed me. This makes things even more complicated. Kakashi sighs. It's not only that, Naruto isn't healing either. I don't know why the Nine Tails' chakra isn't doing anything. I'm out of chakra, so I cannot heal him myself. Kakashi looks at Hinata, narrowing his right eye. You did something to his chakra, didn't you? I can only imagine what a Hyuga that went through the root special training could achieve in terms of chakra blockage. Hinata doesn't say anything, but Kakashi can see through her. She's become good at hiding her emotions, but Kakashi is even better at reading people. He was an Ambu after all. Somehow, this girl has blocked the Nine Tails' chakra from reaching Naruto's body. Kakashi has to convince her to undo whatever seal she did. Naruto is the only chance they have to succeed in their mission here, and it is too important. Kakashi himself is in no shape to fight. Sakura is out of chakra, and that leaves only Neji. They need Naruto. Kakashi knows Hinata wants to bring Naruto back to the village. Telling her that they need Naruto right now for their mission will not work. Should he fight Hinata and force her to release the seal? No, he's got no chakra left and his body is in terrible shape. Besides, Kakashi can sense an aura of death around Hinata. She's dangerous. He will have to use a different approach. Hinata, you have to undo the chakra seal on Naruto, Kakashi says. I will never do that. The last thing I want is for Naruto to rush back into the fight. If this chakra distorting curse grabs a hold of the Nine Tails, Naruto will die, and we will all die as well. That's not it. First, Naruto is completely vulnerable in that state. The Akatsuki member could come back anytime and try to capture him again. We are not in a great shape to defend him if that happens. Also, think about Naruto's suffering here. In this pathetic state, he has burns all over his body. He doesn't deserve to go through that. I promise that when Naruto gets back up, we're going to retreat. So you've given up? Mr. Kaijinori says. Retreating is not the same as giving up. In the current situation, there isn't much we can do, unfortunately. Kakashi has to maintain the facade of a retreat. He knows that even if he told Naruto not to, he would fight against the curse. But if Hinata thinks Naruto will fight, she won't do it. Well then, Hinata, will you help Naruto? Kakashi says. Hinata remembers a day long ago. She was watching motionless as a very young Naruto was being kicked on the ground. Brutal strikes hit the young Naruto and he bled. Hinata couldn't do anything for him back then. She couldn't leave him defenseless again. Hinata nods. She stands up and goes towards Naruto. Sakura stands on guard next to him while Kakashi watches for any sudden movements. Hinata weaves hand signs. Her hand glows with purple chakra and she taps her finger on Naruto's chest. A long moment passes and nothing happens. Naruto then stirs, relief washing over Kakashi, Sakura, and Neji. The Nine Tails' chakra isn't only a curse after all, it can actually heal Naruto. Hinata, however, looks worried. She doesn't like the situation Naruto and herself are in right now. The pain on Konan's head fades. She begins to regain her senses and finally manages to open her eyes. She sees a blurred image of a person healing her. It takes a long effort to focus her vision.
Konan freezes.
She sees who is actually healing her. Kabuto, Orochimaru's squire. Konan erupts into motion trying to get away, but her body is sluggish. Kabuto pushes her down to the ground, saying, "I told you not to move. I'm not done healing you yet. Don't worry, if I wanted to kill you, I would have done that already. Why are you helping me? There's something on this island that I want, and something that you want as well. I figured we could join forces. I wouldn't ally myself to someone who serves the traitor Orochimaru. Come on now, be more pragmatic. If you want to capture the Nine Tails today, accepting my offer is the best and only way, really. And what do you want?" "I want the daggers." "Daggers?" "Yes. Strange things are happening on this land. Wild chakra. Everything happened here because of a set of 6 daggers stabbed around the body of a local woman. These daggers contain the source of this powerful chakra." "And what is this chakra?" "Lord Orochimaru and I have done extensive research. I believe this chakra belongs to a yokai." "What is that?" "Yokais were powerful chakra beams that roamed the earth eons ago, even before the age of the Sage of Six Paths. There's so few vestiges of them that I even thought they were far-fetched legends. Apparently they are real, and somehow one of them survived. Hence, the chakra on this place." "So these daggers are the actual form of this creature?" "No, I want the daggers. I tried to get them before, but I couldn't do so. I couldn't take them out of the woman's body. So I need your help to kill her. I suspect that when she dies, the powers of the yokai will fade away and the creature will die, no longer having a vessel. I will then get the daggers, and you will get the Nine Tails. Everybody wins." "And why is that you want these daggers so much?" "I am a scholar. I wish to understand the properties of the daggers." Kabuto can't tell her the whole truth. According to the research he did with Lord Orochimaru, those daggers are amazing relics. The legends say that they were the tools of the Sage of Six Paths. The sage forged them. They were then each given to one of his paths, hence the Six Paths. What that means, Kabuto isn't sure. His theory is that the Six Paths were the sage's most loyal servants. Kabuto knows that the daggers can hold immense power, and he must get them for Lord Orochimaru's sake. Konan cannot know about them, much less what Kabuto intends to do with them. Telling her the truth about the yokais was probably already too much, but he must gain her trust. And by studying those daggers, you want to harvest the power of this yokai, Konan says. "Not exactly. As I said, once the woman dies, the yokai will die with her. I just want to understand the properties of the daggers." As if I would believe that. Orochimaru was always after the next powerful jutsu, and now he wants the same with those daggers. Orochimaru is dead. Sasuke Uchiha killed him, Kabuto says. Konan doesn't believe him. Still, she recognizes the expression on Kabuto's face. Loss. A face she understands all too well. Could Orochimaru really have died? They will have to confirm that with Zetsu. Kabuto finishes healing Konan's head. Her mind is clear now, the pain gone. She stands up saying, "I will capture the Nine Tails. I don't care about what you do so long as you don't interfere with my business." "That's a poor way to repay the man who saved your life. I am repaying you more than enough by not killing you right here on the spot. If you think I'll join forces with one of Orochimaru's lackeys, you are wrong." Konan flies away, not looking back. fine, Kabuto thinks. She will at least serve as a good distraction.
Naruto drifts in darkness. He's so confused. He only remembers Hinata's face and a sharp pain on his stomach. Hinata, she tried to capture him and he killed her. How could this happen? The loneliness creeps in. Naruto thought he was used to being lonely, but now he realizes he's always had the Nine Tails with him. This sounds so twisted, but at least that creature was always with him during his worst moments. Could it be possible that the presence of the Nine Tails was actually comforting? But now the Nine Tails is gone. Naruto doesn't know what Hinata did to him, but ever since that strike, Naruto feels a strange void within him. A mote of orange light appears in the darkness. There's nothing else to do, so Naruto decides to drift towards it. Reaching the mote, he feels a sense of familiarity, nostalgia even. Somehow he knows he should touch the light. Naruto grabs a hold of it. Heat emanates from it, filling his body as though he took a dip in a hot spring. The light expands, forming shapes Naruto recognizes. The Nine Tails appears in front of Naruto behind its cage. Surrounding him, the familiar sight of his strange inner realm appears, the place he can communicate with the Nine Tails. Naruto looks at the great beast behind the bars. It's panting. For the first time, Naruto sees an expression other than pure hatred on the Nine Tails' face. Is that the ear? Nine Tails, are you alright? The beast's expression immediately turns to hatred. Why do you care? I don't. You just look weird. What's going on? Did you miss me? The Nine Tails claws the cage bars dozens of times, putting everything it has into the strikes. A metallic sound of cosmic proportions echoes the creature's resentment. Don't worry, I'm not letting her do that again, you know? Make you disappear and all that. The Nine Tails pauses for a long moment. That ceiling isn't the problem. If we stay any longer on this island, we'll both die. The only choice you have is to remove the seal and let me use my full might to destroy it. Destroy who? Saksunen. He is here. Somehow he is still alive, even after Reika's efforts. I will destroy him. I'm not undoing the seal. You can't just tell me how to defeat this thing. You cannot. If you try to fight him by yourself, he will corrode your chakra and mine with it. We'll both die, you imbecile. Remove the seal. As if I would ever do that. You damn fool! Naruto opens his eyes. His entire body aches, and he is surrounded by people. Ignoring the pain, he stands up with a violent motion. His head hit Sakura's forehead as she was too close to him. Where's Hinata? I'm here. I'm fine. What happened down there? Why did you fight me? Naruto, you're okay. Yotsu hugs Naruto, tears in his eyes. I am. Thanks, Yotsu. You have to come back to the Leaf Village with me. It's too dangerous, Naruto. If that thing comes into contact with the Nine Tails' chakra, no one here will survive. Hinata says, what are you talking about? She works for Danzo, Naruto. She is a spy. She's probably been spying on you ever since you came back to the village, Kakashi says. Naruto freezes. He doesn't know what to say. He feels betrayed. Hinata? A spy? There's also an Akatsuki member here to capture you, Naruto. Sakura says, caressing her forehead. A tactical retreat is not a bad idea after all. We can evacuate the Uzumaki clan from the island and come back with reinforcements. Hinata looks relieved at Sakura saying that. There's something else too. Kabuto's here, Neji says. I fought him. He was trying to kill the... Neji looks at Yotsu, not sure what to say. He was trying to kill Aki Uzumaki and destroy the curse that's afflicting her. So my mom's alive? Yes, she is. I talked to her for a brief moment, and she can still fight against it. She is a brave woman. You're going to save her, right? A beam of colorful chakra erupts to the sky in the distance. Saxonen's chakra. It's increasing, Neji says. I heard this name. Is this the thing affecting Yotsu's mom? Naruto asks. Yes. How do you know it? I guessed. We have to leave this place immediately. Can't you see this thing will destroy everything here? Hinata says. Neji's demeanor grows darker. There's one more thing.
when I was fighting Saksonen. It's sad that soon it will no longer need Aki's body. I'm afraid if we leave now, she'll die. No! You can't leave my mom, please! Yotsu screams. Don't worry, we won't, Naruto says with a smile. He's trying to push back the thought of Hinata being a spy for the moment, but she's still there, wearing those strange clothes. We can't, Naruto. Please come back to the village. It's the only way. Huh, this Jinchuriki strikes me as a different type of shinobi. Why would you sacrifice yourself for a woman you barely know when it's not even on your mission parameters? Ameyuri says. She had been quiet, only watching everything unfold. Naruto sparked her curiosity. Naruto's taken aback. I don't even know who you are! Fair enough. Kakashi looks at her. If you have anything important to tell us, now would be the time. Why are you here? I told you I can't tell you that. We are past that point now. Kakashi says that with a tone so dark that sends shivers through Ameyuri's spine. Oh well, the Death Squadron of the Mist is ruined anyway. My reputation as a shinobi will never recover, so I might as well tell you. Ameyuri nods towards the beam of chakra rising to the sky. Who hired you? Well, it was a ninja wearing a heavy disguise. He was obviously trying to hide his identity, but we're not dumb. We don't take missions from unknown clients. Not a good business model. Our spies managed to identify where the shinobi hailed from. He was from the Leaf, an Ambu ninja, no doubt. And now that you mention there is a root Ambu in your village, I believe he was from that particular organization. Ameyuri nods towards Hinata's direction. Naruto looks at Hinata. He's never seen that expression on her face. Sheer hatred. What kind of shinobi are you? Giving up your client's secrets during a mission? Hinata pulls a kunai. Wait, Hinata, Neji says, holding her arm. Ameyuri feels so much murderous intent coming from the girl. It's as though she could touch it in the air. She is no ordinary shinobi. Hinata, what are you doing? You're not acting like yourself, Naruto says. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Naruto. She dashes at Ameyuri, forcing herself out of Neji's grasp. Kakashi moves in front of Ameyuri, kunai pointing at Hinata. No, you're not killing her. We will question her. Hinata stops. She coughs up more blood. Kakashi thinks, so Danzo hired foreign ninjas to deal with the anomaly here. He also sent Hinata to extract Naruto back to the village. What did he pay you? Kakashi asks Ameyuri. We got some cash, but that was not the main form of payment. We were told that the copy ninja would be on this island and we could get your left eye as payment. Of course, we couldn't pass up the opportunity to get such a rare and powerful dojutsu and also the chance to prove ourselves against the legendary ninja. I must say I was naive, Ameyuri says, looking at herself and her state. She's burned all over her body just like Kakashi. So he was offering me as payment. What a bastard. Kakashi says. Hinata, don't you see? Danzo's evil. He didn't care at all about Kakashi-sensei's life. Who does he think he is? You have to stop working for him. Please, listen to me. You have to come back with me. I beg you to trust me. No. I'm not abandoning Yotsu's mom. Hinata turns her gaze at Kakashi. You said you're going to retreat after I undid the seal on Naruto. Order him to retreat. Oh, yes. I lied. You're gonna get him killed. No one's dying today, Hinata. Sakura, who's the Akatsuki member here? I don't know, she wore a Rain Village headband. She could fly and control papers at will. Her body was immune to physical attacks because she could turn into paper, but I took care of her. At last she found a way to mend her skull back together. I see. That only leaves Saksonen and Kabuto. It's too dangerous, Naruto. Hinata, look around. The Uzumakis, they suffered neglect for too long. One of them is in danger, and the Leaf Village will come to their aid. As the future Hokage, I cannot choose not to help those in need in the Land of Fire. A wave of chakra erupts from the chakra beam, washing over the entire Uzumaki ruined city. Dozens, no, hundreds of animals all around the ruins turn into gargantuan beasts of chakra, larger and more monstrous than any they've seen. Urama! I will finally have you, filthy Reika's little pet. I will take your chakra now. Saksonen's voice echoes all around the city. Naruto's insides vibrate from the sheer volume of it, and he senses the Nine Tails getting unsettled. The hundreds of chakra beasts dash towards Naruto and the others. He turns towards them. Neji, it seems you're not in terrible shape. Protect the Uzumakis. I'll take care of things here. No, Naruto. Naruto, we have to run, Hinata says. So those were lies, huh? What? When you told Captain Yamato that if anyone could pull off a miracle, that would be me. You heard that? I may be an idiot, but I'm not stupid. I told Yotsu I would save his mom. And I never go back on my word. That's my ninja way. So get ready, Hinata. You're about to witness a miracle. But you don't have enough chakra to fight them all. There's just no way. I'm in Uzumaki. I have plenty of chakra. Naruto bites his thumb and jumps, dashing towards the army of huge beasts. Weaves hand signs. Summoning jutsu! As his hand hits the ground, a massive cloud of smoke explodes, revealing the gargantuan body of Gamabunta. Naruto! You always summon me in the worst situations, don't you? Sorry, but I need a hand here, Chief. No, this is good. I needed to stretch my muscles anyway. Get ready, Naruto! Let's go, Chief Toad! Gamabunta dashes towards the army of gargantuan chakra beasts. He shoots several massive water bullets, impacting and destroying a lot of them. Naruto produces hundreds of shadow clones who stand on Gamabunta's back. They clash with the enemy army. Gamabunta unsheathes his sword and engages them, slicing through the chakra hide of the beasts. The enemies surround Gamabunta from all sides. Several of them come flying from the sky. The Naruto clones weave hand signs and unleash a great barrage of wind-style jutsus, slicing the beasts and cutting them, hitting them with wind dragons. When the wind dragons strike the beasts, they stop them with a bite, and Gamabunta slashes at them, destroying their bodies. But that's not nearly enough. They won't stop coming. The Naruto clones keep on shooting wind-style jutsus from Gamabunta's back, using him as a tank-like platform. Naruto! There's too many of them! Gamabunta says as he takes heavy hits from the beasts, swinging his sword in every direction. The army is overwhelming them. Even with several clones shooting wind-style non-stop, Gamabunta is getting hurt. I know, but I have to get to that light, Chief! Naruto points at the beam of chakra rising to the sky on the other side of the ruined Uzumaki city. Alright, hold tight! The massive Toad jumps up, disengaging from the army on the ground. Naruto and his clones focus chakra on the sole of their feet so that they can stand upright on the Toad's back. Gamabunta jumps over 100 meters up in the air, but several flying beasts come in hot pursuit. The Toad shoots a massive barrage of water bullets that impact them and explode, causing rain to fall all over the ruined city. But that didn't get all of them. 5 massive chakra birds evade the water style and dart towards the airborne Gamabunta from behind. The Naruto clones use Gale Palm, sending dozens of other clones streaking midair towards the birds. Rasengan in hands. 5 clones impact each bird, causing a sequence of explosions and destroying the beasts hundreds of meters above the ground. Gamabunta lands, crashing down on 5 grounded beasts and destroying a large section of the ruined city. Naruto and the Toad continue to engage the army and make their way towards the beam of energy. Kakashi watches Naruto fighting from afar with a smile on his face. He is exhausted, out of chakra, and burned all over his body. Still, for a brief moment, a flash comes to his mind. Minato Sensei taking on countless enemies during the Third Great Ninja War, just like Naruto is doing right now. Wow, I really thought that Jinchuriki was a stunted genin. That is quite impressive, actually, Ameyuri says, watching Naruto fight very far away. He actually is a genin, Kakashi laughs. Really? Doesn't look like it. The rope tying Ameyuri's wrists begins to freeze slowly. Ameyuri is using a minute cold aura to weaken it in a way no one else perceives. Yeah, let's go, Naruto! Yotsu yells. Neji gawks as he watches the fight. Naruto, how strong have you become? He says with a smile, remembering the time they fought in the Chunin exams. Sakura nods at Neji with a smile on her face as well. Hinata also watches the fight. Naruto and Gamabunta keep on fighting the army of beasts in the distance, destroying large sections of the ruins in the process, but Hinata has something else in her mind. The day she saw what Naruto was truly capable of in the Land of Crystals. She remembers waking up on that mountain summit after getting knocked out, and using her Byakugan, she saw that apocalyptic landslide crashing down the mountain. Naruto was trying to stop it by himself, but he was being overwhelmed. Hinata was too weak weak, she couldn't move to go help Naruto. He was going to die, buried in debris. She felt the world was pressing her down. The most desperate moment she had ever lived, and she couldn't do anything to help him. The enemy girl saved Naruto. Somehow, she did so and Naruto survived. Hinata felt so much relief in that moment. Everything would be fine. That feeling didn't last. The enemy captain descended the mountain. Hinata could see the hatred in his eyes with her Byakugan. She needed to go help Naruto, but she couldn't move. She tried to scream, but her voice was too soft. She had no strength left in her lungs, and they were simply too far away. She could only watch as Naruto was hammered over and over again by that man. The desperation came crashing down once more. That man was going to kill Naruto. The enemy girl crawled and stopped him from striking Naruto a finishing blow. She saved Naruto again, but now the captain would strike her down. At that moment, Hinata felt as though a lightning struck her heart. She couldn't believe her eyes. Naruto beheaded that man without an inkling of hesitation. He protected the enemy girl. That was the mark of a true shinobi. And Naruto was so young. He would be so powerful, the greatest of Hokages. But Hinata felt powerless. That girl had saved Naruto twice, and Hinata was worthless during the fight. She got knocked out and didn't do anything properly. If Hinata was in that girl's position, she wouldn't even be worth saving. She needed to become stronger for Naruto's sake. Hinata watches as Naruto continues to destroy beast after beast, fighting alongside his summon, but taking hits as well. Several clones were already destroyed, and the toad is bleeding all over its body. She knows the creatures aren't the greatest problem, however. If Naruto comes into direct contact with that anomaly, he will certainly die. Once again, she feels the weight of the world on her shoulders. Paralyzed, worthless. Once more, she couldn't help Naruto. No, things are different this time. She is no longer a powerless, whiny brat. Naruto's clones jump off Gamabunta, shoving a barrage of Rasengans and destroying several beasts nearby. A gigantic chakra wolf slashes Gamabunta's side. A stream of blood flows out of the wound. Several massive flies come from above, shooting acid at the toad. Naruto uses a wind-style gust of air to block it. Some of the acid punches through the barrier, landing on Gamabunta, destroying the remaining clones and burning his skin. The toad pulls back as Naruto shoots more wind dragons at the chakra beasts. A river of blood trails behind the massive toad. Chief Toad, you gotta go back! You're in bad shape! Not yet, Naruto. We still haven't gotten all of them. But I barely have any chakra left. Yes, same here. We have to finish them all up at once in our next attack. We have to make them cluster close together. Once that happens, we'll combine our water and wind style attacks to create a powerful blast enough to destroy them all. Alright, I counted about 25 left. I have a plan. Listen up. The remaining beasts chase Gamabunta. A falcon comes down, crashing against the toad. Gamabunta shoots his tongue, wrapping around the bird and swinging it back and throwing it against another beast, destroying both of them. A chakra snake erupts from beneath Gamabunta. He slashes his sword at it, cutting its head. As the sword impacts the ground, it creates a cloud of dust that obscures Gamabunta. Naruto darts out of the dust, landing on the ground and dashing towards the beasts. He thinks, alright, bushy brow speed, I need you now. Naruto tosses a dozen kunais with paper bombs towards every direction he possibly can. The explosions do barely any damage to the beast, but they catch their attention. They draw their attention. The creatures swarm Naruto. He dodges attack after attack, claw slashes, bites, acid blasts, until every beast that's left encircles him. Naruto gets overwhelmed. The wolf maw engulfs and bites him with so much force the teeth create a small shockwave when they crash. Naruto screams in pain and vanishes, giving off white smoke. In the distance, Gamabunta opens his hand, showing the real Naruto who's building up chakra. That was a shadow clone, you idiots! Naruto says, jumping on top of Gamabunta's head. No! Naruto! They weave hand signs together. Wind style! Crashing typhoon! Water style! Bombarding tsunami! Both jutsus are massive. They erupt out of Gamabunta and Naruto's mouths. The wind and water fusing together. Great Tempest of the Toads! Combined into one single massive column of water and air. The jutsu impacts.
and for a split second, everything stands still. A gargantuan explosion erupts in the middle of the Uzumaki city, destroying every single chakra beast left. The shockwave is felt around the entire ruined city, as the ruins crumble and debris ascend flying miles away. We got him, Chief! Nice job on the decoy, Naruto! I'm on my limit now. Sorry, you have to go alone, but be careful. Will do. The bleeding body of Gamabunta disappears in a great cloud of white smoke, and Naruto dashes towards the chakra beam. Hinata beholds the gargantuan explosion Naruto just caused, destroying several of the beasts at once. She knows Naruto will go towards the anomaly now, and she cannot let that happen. He is far away, but she can make it in time if she ignores the pain on her stomach. Hinata dashes towards Naruto. A blast of air streaks towards her. Hinata dodges it and assumes a battle stance. Neji just attacked her. Where do you think you're going? He says. I will save Naruto. Kakashi, Sakura, Neji, and all the Uzumakis nearby tense up. You're not taking Naruto back. You heard his words. You're staying here, Neji says. Neji, step down. No, you step down. You're not yourself anymore, Hinata. Look at what you've been doing. Spying for the roots? Assassination? If I had to guess, what happened to you? It doesn't matter. As your family, I just want to understand. Why are you doing all this? I could lie and say I'm doing this for the good of the village and the Land of Fire, but that's not the reason. Naruto, he must survive no matter what happens. That is why. So you don't trust Naruto? I do, but I don't trust the false philosophy of the will of fire he's been indoctrinated with. I will save him from that. Step down, Neji. I don't want to fight you, Hinata. It won't go down well for you. But if you make me do it, I will. Don't worry. We're not going to fight. Hinata weaves an exotic hand sign. Neji screams in pain. His forehead shines bright through his headband. Neji falls on his knees, screaming his lungs out. Sakura lunges at Hinata from behind, aiming a punch at her. Hinata closes her eyes, concentrating. First gate. The gate of opening. Release! Hinata dodges Sakura without looking. Her movement suddenly faster. Kakashi tries to dash and engage Hinata, but his body doesn't respond. He remains kneeling on the ground. Sakura throws a kick, aiming at Hinata's legs. She jumps up, avoiding the kick. Too slow, Hinata says, landing a sequence of 6 lightning-fast gentle fist attacks on Sakura's torso, launching her against a ruin and rendering her unconscious. Neji falls on the ground in fetal position, drooling, the ceiling on his forehead burning white hot. The Uzumakis that were around hide and scream in terror, but they watch, not knowing what Hinata's going to do. Neji's seal deactivates, but he is completely taken out of the fight. Kakashi realizes she must have used one of her inner gates to boost her speed. He could do the same, but in the state his body is in, and without chakra, Kakashi would simply unravel. He gathers every ounce of strength he has left and runs towards Hinata, kunai in hand, though in a sluggish pace. Seeing Kakashi coming at her, a memory flashes in Hinata's mind, a meeting of the root ambush. She wore the Oni mask and kneeled in front of Danzo, next to several other root ambu members. The plan is progressing accordingly. Soon, Tsunade will be ousted and I will become the 6th Hokage. Finally, the moronic doctrine of the will of fire will be purged from the Leaf Village, and this age of regression will end, Danzo said. In order to make sure I will be the next Hokage, first, there are 2 ninjas next in line that must be eliminated, or they will be chosen instead. The Toad Sage Jiraiya and Kakashi Hatake of the Sharingan. I am not ordering you to assassinate them. They are not the type of ninja such a ploy would work. Besides, we mustn't attract the attention of the Slug Princess. However, if any of you ever come across the opportunity to kill or debilitate either of them without repercussion, do so. And now she sees the perfect chance to kill off one of the root's prime targets. She weaves hand signs. Lightning style. Lightning bolt. Electricity blasts from Hinata's hand, aiming at Kakashi's heart. He has no chakra left. Even if he survives the lightning bolt, she will follow up with a finishing blow. Kakashi's body barely responds. He won't be fast enough to dodge it anyway, and he braces for impact. The lightning bolt veers left, mid-air diverting its direction. It hits one of Ameyuri's twin swords as she pointed it towards the bolt, saving Kakashi in the nick of time. You know, these blades are also known as the lightning rods, Ameyuri says, with her sword shining bright as it absorbed the lightning strike. She joins Kakashi's side, pointing her blades at Hinata. I couldn't do
that with a copy ninja's lightning, but yours is puny in comparison. I reckon both of us together can take care of her even in this pathetic state. Right, copy ninja? Why are you helping me? Who the hell knows? I moved without thinking. Hinata stares at them. She doesn't have time to waste here. Eliminating Kakashi is a directive of the root, but Naruto is more important. Without uttering another word, Hinata disengages and runs towards the rising chakra beam. Kakashi and Ameyuri watch Hinata dashing away, vanishing amidst the Uzumaki ruins. A long moment passes. You saved me once, but I saved you twice, copy ninja, so you owe me one. Ameyuri says after they make sure Hinata is not coming back. Kakashi chuckles, not saying anything. Ameyuri dashes away, leaving the Uzumaki city. Mr. Kajinori comes out of hiding with the other Uzumakis. That girl's gonna get us all killed. We have to do something about it, Kajinori says. I'm afraid there's nothing more for you to do here, and I'm pretty much useless right now, Kakashi says, gathering the unconscious bodies of Neji and Sakura and putting them in a comfortable resting position. Mr. Kajinori, an Uzumaki woman in their group says, Yotsu, we don't know where he is. I think he escaped again. Damn boy, I have to go and find him. Kakashi puts his hand on Kajinori's shoulder, stopping him. No, if you go, Naruto will have to protect a group of 15 instead of 1. But we have to— Let me be blunt, Mr. Kajinori. There's nothing for you to do here. All we can do now is to believe in Naruto. Naruto speeds through the destroyed ruins. The closer he gets to the chakra beam, the denser the air becomes with a sheer volume of chakra. The Nine Tails churns inside him. It tries to take control over Naruto's consciousness. He manages to keep his emotions in check and deny the beast any possibility of mixing its chakra with Naruto's. And then he finally reaches the location of the beam of chakra. Aki Uzumaki stands at the base of the beam. The 6 daggers piercing her body are fused with chakra, an incredible amount. They are incandescent, burning the woman's skin. Her body, on the other hand, is expelling chakra, creating the rising beam. Naruto is not a sensory type, but even him can feel the sheer volume of chakra, and the worst part, it's building up fast. Aki's head turns towards Naruto with a brisk motion. She has an unhinged smile on her face. Reika isn't here anymore, and I will destroy everything she created, starting with you filthy little fox, Saksonen says. The chakra beams leap from Aki's body, streaking towards Naruto. He jumps out of the way, the chakra impacting the ruins behind him. Aki, listen to me, you have to fight this thing! Beams shoot non-stop. Naruto tries to get closer to her, but he can't. There's too much chakra, he can't get an opening. One of the beams hits Naruto on the chest, flinging him backwards. He hits a ruin, spitting blood. Naruto jumps away as another beam was about to finish him off, missing him by an inch. Aki, I know you're there. You're stronger than this thing. Fight it! Pathetic child. She can no longer fight against me. She will die just like you. Hinata jumps through the ruins. She's a passing shadow, making no noise and almost undetectable. The demonic chakra is building up ahead. Hinata can sense the air around her getting denser. Still, there's another pressing concern. Hinata spots the Akatsuki member flying above her, towards the chakra beam. The Akatsuki members were prime targets of the root. The only exception was Itachi Uchiha. They had flee-on-sight orders for him. She coughs up blood. Hinata has to finish this quickly. She's been sustaining the first gate for too long. Her stomach is still very hurt, and mid-air she'll be at a great disadvantage. Besides, Sakura said physical attacks won't work against the Akatsuki. Good thing Hinata's physical attacks are unlike any other. Up in the sky, Konan sees the origin of the chakra beam. She is still dizzy from her last fight, even after being healed, but she can see the Jinchuriki boy is fighting down there. Whatever that thing is, it's shooting chakra at him. That will be a perfect distraction. He must have spent all of his chakra fighting those large beasts, and now Konan can snatch him and make an exit without being noticed. Lightning falls from the sky, targeting Konan. She flies out of the way. Looking down, she sees a girl with black uniform flying towards her. Hinata uses her air palms, blowing a barrage of air blasts to propel herself mid-air, darting towards Konan. Lightning strikes, igniting the sky, targeting Konan. She veers left and drops to a lower altitude. She was forced to get closer to the approaching Hinata. Konan unleashes a volley of paper towards the airborne girl. She uses her rotation mid-air, repelling the paper. That loses her lift as she can no longer use her air palms and plummets down, still rotating. More lightning strikes come down the sky, targeting Konan. This time, one of them hits her leg, which turns into paper. Konan loses more altitude as Hinata lands on the ground. ground. She stops her rotation and dodges the gust of paper. Hinata weaves hand signs, creating a lightning dragon that arcs upwards and comes down, crashing on the flying Konan from above. She flies down, dodging the dragon, shooting an accelerated paper towards Hinata. Konan lands on the ground as the lightning beast impacts several ruins, turning them into rubble. The paper she shot on Hinata turns into a shuriken, hitting her square on the heart and exploding. A cloud of smoke puffs and Hinata vanishes. Konan realizes too late that it was a shadow clone, and the original was unleashing the lightning strikes from the sky, forcing Konan to fly down and eventually land. If her head wasn't so light because of the other girl's lucky blow, she would have noticed. She has to fly up now or she'll get caught. But it's too late. Looking back, Konan sees the real Hinata already at melee range, ready to strike from behind. How could she be so silent? Konan didn't notice her approaching whatsoever. Time crystallizes as Hinata finds herself behind the Akatsuki member, ready to strike. Her plan worked and she managed to approach the enemy without being spotted. She only has chakra for one more attack, which will unleash the full might of death itself. Hinata concentrates. The veins of her Byakugan begin to pop out even more. Second gate, the gate of healing, open. Her skin turns red. Third gate, the gate of life, open. She feels her muscles becoming lively and her skin boiling with intense chakra. Konan won't be able to fly away, so she closes her wings and turns them into a paper shield that protects her back. Lightning style, gentle fist. Hinata's fingertips glow blue with wisps of lightning. Assuming a stance, Hinata sees in her mind's eye how many attacks she can perform with the third gate opened. 256 trigrams. 2048 palms! Hinata explodes into motion. Her arms are so fast it's impossible to see them. She carves through Konan's paper shield, the lightning erupting all around them, leaking from her hands. The shield unravels and Hinata strikes Konan's back. Time and time again. Konan realizes in disbelief that somehow these attacks are preventing her from turning into paper properly. There's something about them nullifying her chakra. And the final blow hits Konan. She is sent flying 100 meters away. Lightning trails behind her as she impacts the ruins in the distance, creating a large explosion. The inner gates fade and Hinata falls to her knees. She can only maintain the third gate for a few seconds. Pain flares as muscle fiber rips apart all around her body. She can barely move. More blood gushes out from her mouth. Hinata can feel the impact of Naruto's attack, even though she received some healing from Sakura. But she cannot stop there. Looking at the beam of chakra not too far away, Hinata knows she must reach Naruto in order to save him. Naruto gives her the strength to continue, to stand up. Her muscles scream, but that doesn't matter. Pain will not stop her from reaching Naruto. One step after the other, she will get there. So long as she's alive, she'll move that way. Chakra keeps on flying towards Naruto and he still dodges them, one after the other. But Saxonon has completely taken over Aki's body. The chakra flows towards Naruto with violence. Naruto tries to get closer to Aki using shadow clones, but they are hit by the chakra and destroyed. Aki, listen to me. You have to resist. I know how it feels to have something inside you that you cannot control. It frightens you. It feels overwhelming. It feels as though the entire world will crash down and destroy you. I know you feel alone. I know you're desperate, but you're not alone. Yotsu cares about you. He'll never give up on trying to save you. You can't give up either. For a brief moment, Aki's expression changes. The chakra stops surging from her body. I can't. It's too strong, she says in her normal voice. Naruto dashes towards her. Fight, Aki! A violent wave of chakra ignites, blasting Naruto away. Humans have always been weak, you brat. Reika was a fluke, and this woman can never resist me. Saxonon retakes her consciousness. Naruto stands up quickly as a new barrage of chakra is directed towards him. He is practically out of chakra at this point. His body is not responding the way he wants. Naruto jumps, trying to get out of the way, but a beam of chakra hits him in the shoulder, launching him against a ruin. More chakra strikes Naruto on the ground, singeing his body. Concentrating what he has left of chakra, he creates 10 shadow clones that dash towards Saxonon. Aki, listen to my voice! Let's fight this thing together! The chakra destroys the incoming clones with ease and hits the original Naruto. Aki, please resist it! Naruto says as he gets hit by a beam of chakra straight in his stomach. He spits blood on the ground, his body is too hurt, and his muscles feel like jello. Hinata falls on the ground, spitting blood. Every muscle fiber on her body burns with acute pain. It's getting worse by the second, but Hinata has to continue. She feels the powerful chakra in the distance increasing. If she can't reach Naruto in time, he's going to die. Naruto uses his arms to block the incoming flurry of chakra. The Nine Tails is disturbed inside him. It's as though something terrible is about to happen. And then it snaps. Not a bone or a muscle, but something within Naruto himself. He feels the Nine Tails' chakra getting corrupted, contaminated by this chakra, and changed by the weird wave that's penetrating his skin. Inside the Nine Tails' realm, Naruto sees the body of the tail beast being slowly consumed by that chakra. It has already covered the left arm, turning it into a scaly, disgusting, and muscular appendage. Naruto sees the pain in the fox's expression. Congratulations! We both die here, it says, blazing hatred. Aki, if you let this thing continue, everyone on this island will die. Think about Yotsu. He protected you. You have to protect him. It's no use. Once I take over the Nine Tails, I will no longer need her body, and this woman will die. Naruto feels the fox becoming ever more consumed. The chakra has now engulfed 3 tails and a leg, turning them into that monstrous form. The Nine Tails' corrupted chakra wants to leave Naruto by force, almost like an explosion. He has to exert an insane amount of effort to contain it within his body. He won't be able to do that for much time. If the chakra infection spreads around the entire Nine Tails, he will die. Mom, stop! Yotsu shouts, appearing amidst the ruins surrounding Naruto and Aki. Please, Naruto's trying to help you. Yotsu, run, it's too dangerous here! Saksonen turns Aki's hands towards the boy, preparing to atomize him with chakra. Naruto attempts to move, but Saksonen's chakra is spinning him down still. Desperation washes over him. This boy will be killed by his own mother against her will, and he can't do anything about it. Aki's hand glows, ready to unleash death. Mom, please, don't! The chakra on her hand fades. The beam pinning Naruto down ceases. The infection stops spreading around the Nine Tails, but the fox is still in pain and almost half transformed into that disgusting monster. Aki cries. Her unhinged smile gives way to a smile of happiness. Yotsu, my boy. Mom, I'm here. Please come back. Naruto stands up and stumbles towards Aki. Yes, Aki. Resist this thing. For Yotsu. He reaches the woman, grabbing one of the daggers piercing her body. The artifact releases a wave of chakra, pushing Naruto back. I can't hold him any longer. You can. We'll fight it together. We just have to pull those daggers out. Naruto braces himself and touches the dagger again. This time he resists the wave of power released by the weapon and begins to pull on it. It barely moves. The dagger flares chakra that enters Naruto's body. It begins to spread around the Nine Tails again, forcing Naruto to exert more pressure to keep his body intact from the chakra trying to break out. Aki, you have to help me out here. If we take those daggers out, everyone will be fine. Come on. You have to kill me. It's the only way. I'm sorry it has to be you, Aki whispers. I don't want to hear any of that. Look that way. That's your son. He's counting on you. We're gonna pull those daggers out, and you'll be together again. Do you understand? Aki nods. She puts her hands on top of Naruto's hands, and they both try to pull the dagger out. It moves at a snail's pace. You can do it, Mom! Naruto feels more and more chakra invading his body and corrupting the Nine Tails. His skin feels as though it's about to pop in every single direction, but he soldiers on, pulling that strange dagger until it finally comes out. Aki doesn't bleed. Her wound was cauterized by the intense chakra emanating from the dagger, so they can pull off all the daggers. She can still survive if they get to Sakura in time. She has probably recovered some of her chakra now. You're doing great, Aki. Just 5 more to go and you'll be back to Yotsu. She nods, crying but determined. They grab another dagger and begin to pull. Naruto has to hurry. Half of the Nine Tails has already been consumed by the chakra. They pull with everything they have. Naruto ignores the pain inflicted upon him by the dagger's evil energy. Giving up is not an option. Protecting those who cannot protect themselves is the duty of a Hokage. Hinata crawls towards the direction of the chakra. She has barely any strength left, but something has changed about the energy. It feels more contained, but not weaker. As a matter of fact, it feels even more dangerous than before. Hinata finally arrives at the location of the chakra. She cannot believe her own eyes. Naruto and that woman are working together to remove the daggers from her body. The woman's son is there. Is that the reason why she could override the chakra's control over her? Bull! Naruto screams as they manage to dislodge the second dagger out of her body. Maybe this could work, and maybe Hinata could help. No, she can't. She's too weak. She wouldn't withstand the volume of chakra being released by those daggers. She can't fathom how Naruto's doing it. Naruto and the woman grab a third dagger and begin to pull. Naruto's face shows unwavering determination. But Hinata sees something else with her Byakugan. Naruto's body and the nine tails within are being corrupted and consumed by the chakra emanating from those daggers. That chakra is attempting to force itself out of Naruto, exerting insane pressure against him, like a supernova wanting to explode, being held back only by Naruto's sheer willpower. He is the only person in this world that could do something like that. Protect someone he barely knows, risking everything in the process, bearing unimaginable pain. A tear falls from Hinata's Byakugan. She's taken aback. She hasn't cried since that day. Naruto keeps on pulling the dagger. More tears stream down her face as she watches Naruto suffering. She also sees the face of her mother. Why is she remembering that day now? Is it because of Naruto? She swore she would forget that day and bury it forever. Why now? 3 years ago, Hinata, Hiashi, Hanabi, and Hayuri, Hinata's mother, traveled to the Land of Hot Springs. They were on a diplomatic trip. The Hyuga clan had to ensure that its connections would be maintained and their power established within the Land of Fire and beyond. This time they would meet with the feudal lord of the Land of Hot Springs, a meeting so important that the head of the Hyuga clan and his entire family would go in person. Depending on how the meeting went, it could bring a lot of prestige to the clan internationally, something Hiashi always craved. It's been only a couple of weeks since Naruto left the village to train under the sage Jiraiya, but Hinata feels lonelier than ever. Even though Naruto and her didn't talk that often, his presence in the village still comforted her. But now she had to focus on this diplomatic mission. Her father won't be pleased if she screws up again. He was very specific, telling her to be quiet and only wave during the meeting, leaving Hanabi the duty to greet the children of the feudal lord. Hanabi was much more talented than her in the art of the gentle fist, and she was much younger too. At least her mom understood Hinata. Hayuri never had any talent for being a shinobi, only catching her father's eyes because she was so beautiful. Zato Hyuga, a jonin and member of the branch family, accompanied them, serving as a bodyguard. "Are you okay, Lady Hinata?" Zato said. "You seem worried." "No, I was just thinking about the meeting, that's all." "Not to worry, I'm sure you'll do just fine. You are the heiress of the Hyuga clan after all." Hinata smiled and nodded. Zato was a kind man, a loyal member of the Hyuga clan. "You know, I can tell your father that you're feeling ill, so you don't have to go to the meeting." Hinata smiles. "No, that's okay. Thank you, Zato." "I'm just joking. These meetings are boring anyway. I mean, I doubt anything interesting is gonna happen, but at least the hot springs are good there, I suppose. After all, it's the Land of Hot Springs." The group arrived at a fancy inn on the roadside. "We'll stop here for tonight. It's one more day to the Land of Hot Springs," Hiashi said. They went to their room. It's a big room with paper walls separating their beds. "Hinata, I think this is a good time for us to practice your knitting. You're getting really good at it," Hayuri said with a smile. Her mom's smile was so warm and pretty. Hinata couldn't help to smile back. Hiashi growls in annoyance. "Knitting won't make you a better clan head. You should be training instead." "Would you give us a break? Aren't you tired of walking the whole day? I told you we should get a wagon," Hayuri says. "We are not a family of pompous nobles. We are the most powerful clan in the Leaf Village. We'll act accordingly." "I want to train," Hanabi says. "Good. Zato, go train with Hanabi." "Of course, Lord Hiashi." Zato and Hanabi both left the inn. Hanabi had a spring in her step. She was very excited. "I'll be on the other side of the room reviewing some documents about the Land of Hot Springs," Hiashi said, leaving Hinata and her mom alone. They began knitting. Hinata loved doing that so much, and her mom was helpful. She taught Hinata everything about it and still gave her tips on how to make things even prettier. "Are you making a scarf, Hinata?" "Yes," Hinata said, blushing. Her mom smiled, picking up the half-done red scarf. "You like red?" "I do. It's a pretty color." I think it would make a beautiful contrast with your hair. Thank you, Mom. Huh, this one looks a bit more boyish than the other things you made, though. Why is that? Really? Hinata blushes furiously. Is this scarf meant for a boy, Hinata? Hayuri whispered so that Hiyashi couldn't hear. No, Mom, it was just a mistake. Oh, come on, Hinata, you can tell me. You know your secrets die with me. Who's the lucky boy? There's no one, Hinata said, her face crimson. Hayuri laughed with tenderness, but Hinata saw mischievousness on her face as well. It's Naruto Uzumaki, isn't it? Hinata's heart skipped a beat. She didn't know what to say, and why all of a sudden was she sweating so much? She breathed deep, mustering her courage. Are you gonna tell me he's no good? Hayuri laughed. Of course not. If you chose him, he has to be a good boy. I know everyone disrespects him, and frankly, I don't agree with it. It's not his fault the Nine Tails was sealed in him, and the legacy of the 4th Hokage should be respected. Hinata is caught completely off guard. Her respect for her mom increased even more. How'd you know, Mom? You can't hide anything from Mommy, Hinata. I've been telling you that since you were a baby. Hayuri says, touching Hinata's nose with her index finger. He will love this scarf. You should give it to him when he comes back to the village. You think so? Of course. If this boy becomes half the ninja his father was, he'll be wanted by every girl in the village. You'll have to act quickly, Hinata. Hinata remembers that girl from the stone village, Kurotsuchi. She and Naruto were smiling a lot together, and the lengths he went to protect her. Her mom was right. If Hinata didn't do anything, she would lose Naruto. I will, Mom, Hinata said, gripping the half-done scarf with force. The door to the room crashed open, making a loud noise. The innkeeper stepped into the room with haste. My lord, your daughter, she's been captured by a group of bandits. The other man that was with her is chasing them down, but Hiyashi appears from behind the wall, activating his Byakugan. How many? I don't know. More than a dozen, I think, but I think they're ninjas. Hayuri, Hinata, stay here until I come back with Hanabi, Hiyashi said, dashing through the door. It's okay, Hinata. Your dad's gonna take care of things, Hayuri said, hugging Hinata and caressing the back of her head. The innkeeper closes the door. He remains inside the room, panting and flustered. I'm sorry about this. Usually this location is safe. It's okay. These things can happen to us. Our clan is our coveted, especially our eyes. Don't worry, my husband is strong, and I'm sure Zato will get Hanabi even before him. The innkeeper kicked Hinata in the stomach, sending her flying and crashing against the wall. I wouldn't be so sure of that, the innkeeper said. The transformation jutsu disguising the innkeeper was dispelled, revealing Zato. My concealment jutsu really worked against the mighty Byakugan of Lord Hiyashi. Hayuri looked at Hinata. She was spitting blood, conscious but unable to get up. What are you doing, Zato? Hayuri said, what I've been waiting to do my entire life. Revenge on the Mang family and Hiyashi. Hayuri tried to run towards Hinata, but she was not a ninja. Zato grabbed her by the neck. All those years torturing me through the seal on my forehead. That will all be paid for with your blood. The blood of the heiress of the Hyuga clan, Zato said, choking Hayuri, both hands on her neck. She shook her arms and legs with violence as her face grew red. It's so unfortunate I won't be able to see Hiyashi's face after I'm done. You know, I'm selling your Byakugans to a very, very important client. I'll be richer than all of you scumbags. Hinata cried tears of desperation, laying on the ground, watching a man she trusted choking the life out of her mother. Zato had his back turned towards Hinata, but even if she tried anything, he was a Jonin, and his Byakugan was activated. There was no way she could sneak up on him. She remembered Naruto and what he would do in the situation. He would fight, never giving up. Hinata centered herself, focusing to erase her presence completely. She grabbed a kunai and stood up. Zato continued to choke her mother, her arms and legs still shaking. The sound was awful. Hinata couldn't stand that sound. Nevertheless, she approached Zato and he didn't notice a thing. Hinata was as quiet as death itself, and somehow, even though Byakugan didn't see her, Ayuri's eyes had turned red, but she was still fighting for her life. Hinata just had to strike Zato's neck from behind using her kunai. She could do it. He was just in front of her. She only had to do what Naruto did to save that girl from the stone. But she couldn't move. Her body was trembling so much she couldn't kill a person. Zato was her friend, but she was killing her mother. Hinata froze in place. She couldn't move forward. She was not fit to be a ninja. Hayuri locked eyes with her one final time. Tears streaming on both of her faces. Her arms and legs became limp, her body lifeless. Zato tossed Hayuri's corpse like a trash bag. Well now, Byakugan princess, it's your turn. What? Zato said, turning towards Hinata and being caught by surprise after seeing her just standing there right behind him. He punched Hinata in the face. She was paralyzed. She couldn't do anything to counter the attack, which sent her flying once more. Sneaky bastard! You didn't have the balls to kill me, did you? You just watched your mom die. You'll regret this for the rest of your life. Your very short life, Zato said, pulling a kunai. Don't worry, I'll be quicker with you, he said, raising the weapon to cut Hinata's neck. Zato's forehead blasted with light. He screamed a cry of primordial agony, falling to the ground. The seal on his forehead was flaring like Hinata had never seen before, making him drool, his limbs shaking just like her mom's limbs were, and his mouth made a similar sound. Hiyashi bursted through the door, carrying an unconscious Hanabi. He launched a dozen kunais, piercing Zato's torso and head, finishing him off on the ground. Hinata looked at her father's face, and she had never seen him showing such sadness and anger before. She could have sworn his eyes watered when he looked at her mother's corpse. Hanabi was breathing, but she had a bruise on her head. What happened here, Hinata? Hiyashi said. She was still paralyzed by fear, and now guilt. What happened here, useless girl? Hinata couldn't answer. Hiyashi kicked Hinata in the exact same spot Zato had kicked her. For the third time that night, Hinata was launched through the room. Hiyashi realized what he had done as he saw Hinata on the ground coughing blood. It was an outburst of anger, but the girl deserved it. We were attacked by rogue ninjas. A platoon. Your mother and Zato were killed by them, but I was able to save you and your sister. That's the story we are going to tell. Do you understand, Hinata? What? No one can know that a branch family member turned against us. It will tarnish the Hyuga reputation. We will set off to the Land of Hot Springs in the morning. But mother, she's dead. The dead can wait. Our mission comes first. Hinata didn't know what to do. She looked at her mother's lifeless body. Lifeless because she only stood there and watched, incapable of doing anything. It should have been you, Hiyashi said in disgust. Hinata watches Naruto pulling the daggers from Aki's torso. The third one just came out. Her body is trembling and tears stream down her face, just like on that day. She is once again paralyzed. She thought after all the root training this would never happen again. How was it possible? Her breaths turn shallow and she shakes even more than when her mom was dying. Naruto reaches for the fourth dagger. Hinata sees the chakra within him getting corrupted. His body is ready to give in, and Naruto is going to die while she watches. No, Hinata promised herself she would never let this thing happen again. She had to move, even if that's the last thing she would do. Naruto pulled the fourth dagger with everything he had, screaming in effort. Naruto, let's go! Be strong, Mom! Yotsu yells. The pain was unimaginable. Naruto felt as though his bones were made out of incandescent metal. The chakra wanted to burst his body open. The fourth dagger came out, and Naruto quickly grabbed the fifth one. More chakra rushing into his body. Aki barely had any strength left either. She won't hold much longer, and if Satsuna overtakes her consciousness again, it's over. The Nine-Tails' body was 3/4 corrupted. The fox's head was the only body part not completely taken over by the chakra. The fifth dagger comes out. Just one more, Aki. One more and we go home. Naruto grabs the sixth and final dagger, feeling even more chakra flooding his body and infecting the Nine-Tails. Come on, Naruto! Yotsu shouts. The dagger wouldn't move. Naruto's strength was wavering and the pain was too great for him to maintain his muscles working adequately. His body is going to explode. The Nine-Tails is almost completely taken over. Just the left eye remains untouched by the chakra. Just a little more, Aki! I need your help! I'm trying! The dagger begins to move out of her body. The chakra begins to corrupt the Nine-Tails' left eye. A kunai beheads Aki. Before her head hits the ground, as if a candle was blown out by a storm, Saksunen's chakra evaporates. The pain on Naruto's body ceases, and the Nine-Tails goes back to its normal state. Aki Aki's head lands, making a crunch sound. Her limp body follows suit. Hinata stands tall, holding a bleeding kunai. Naruto didn't see her coming. How could she do something like that? Naruto was about to save her. I'm sorry, Naruto. I wasn't gonna let you die, Hinata says, right before falling unconscious, finally succumbing to her wounds and exhaustion. Naruto and Yotsu stare at Aki's headless body in disbelief. Screams of terror and desperation explode out of Yotsu's mouth. The sound of his agony cuts deep through Naruto. He had failed, and now this boy lost his mother. And Hinata, she's no longer the same person Naruto knew. She's become a monster. Naruto cries, feeling pathetic and weak. I'm sorry, Yotsu. I'm really sorry. But the boy didn't listen. His screams of pain dwarfing Naruto's weak voice. The boy approaches his mother's body, still crying. He looks at Hinata, and his expression changes. Naruto has seen those eyes only once before, when Sasuke met his older brother in that hotel years ago. Sheer hatred, the lust for revenge. Yotsu grabs one of the daggers that was piercing his mother's body from the ground. Screaming a guttural roar, he rushes towards the unconscious Hinata. I'll kill you! Naruto holds him, but the boy swings his arms and legs with ferocity. Let go of me! I'll kill her! Yotsu, calm down. Revenge will take you nowhere. It will only make you suffer more. Trust me. You don't know anything. She was my mother. You wouldn't understand. Naruto remembers Sasuke saying something similar to him in the Valley of the End. He had always been alone. He wouldn't know what loss meant. But he lost Sasuke that day. He lost someone. Naruto can now understand him a little bit better. But he knows revenge won't help Yotsu. It didn't help Sasuke so far, and it won't do so in the future. Let go of me, you liar! You told me you're gonna save her! Yotsu, The boy stabs Naruto in the thigh. The dagger pierces deep, hitting Naruto's bone, but he doesn't let the boy go. I'm ashamed of failing you, and I understand if you never forgive me. But if I let you kill Hinata, even though she did something terrible, I will be failing you twice then. Would he though? Naruto saw merit in Sasuke killing Itachi, when taking Sasuke's own revenge perspective out of the picture. Naruto himself killed to protect in the past. Is he just being biased because it's Hinata? He doesn't know what to say, but he can't let Hinata die here. He needs answers. Besides, revenge and justice are two very different things. Letting a young boy such as Yotsu take revenge into his own hands is just wrong. Still, Naruto remembers the day he killed the Stone Village captain. He felt a rush of adrenaline in that moment, and a flash of primordial anger as he slashed the older man's neck. That may have been the right decision at the right moment, but it came from a place of anger and spitefulness. It was just like when the Nine Tails takes him over. But that day, Naruto killed that man on his own volition, without hesitation, just like Hinata did to Aki. That is an ugly feeling. Killing is sometimes the only alternative, but doing so with the wrong mindset can lead one to ruin. Naruto can let Yotsu succumb to the same fate, even though the boy may hate him for it. He removes the dagger from his thigh, tossing it back on the ground. The wound oozes blood. If it continues like that, Naruto will pass out eventually. He pulls some wires from his ninja satchel and ties Yotsu to a tree nearby. Yotsu screams and curses Naruto, but he cannot move. Naruto uses some bandages to tie his leg wound. He turns to get Hinata and take her back to Sakura. When Naruto looks at the unconscious Hinata, a hooded figure stands on top of her, his foot stepping on her chest. The figure holds the 6 daggers that were pierced in Aki's body. Naruto got distracted tying the boy and treating his wound. He didn't see the figure approaching. Show yourself! Naruto says, pulling a kunai. Hello, Naruto, Kabuto says, lowering his hood. You! Step away from her, Kabuto. I'm warning you. Remember what happened last time. And why should I do that? You know how much trouble this girl gave me? Kabuto says, putting one of the daggers close to Hinata's neck. Who would have thought this wimp of a girl would become a Root Ambu member, though? No wonder she was so strong when we fought. Step away from her, Naruto says, limping towards Kabuto. I wouldn't come any closer if I were you. Kabuto touches the dagger on Hinata's neck, drawing a single drop of blood. Besides, you are in no shape to fight me at all. What do you want? To taunt me as you always do? No, I have to say, Naruto, I was wrong about you. You have actually gotten pretty strong. You've taken out Akatsuki members and also really helped me getting these daggers. I will let this girl live as a token of my appreciation. And also, Kabuto tosses a book on the ground close to Naruto. The book lands open on a page showing a picture of Kisame. Use that to kill more Akatsuki members for me, would you? Kabuto jumps away, disappearing from the scene. Naruto picks up the book, and skimming through its contents, he realizes it contains a lot of information about the Akatsuki and its members. I am putting this scene here of Kabuto giving Naruto the book instead of in the Itachi Pursuit arc, by the way. A few minutes later, Kakashi arrives carrying Sakura, unconscious. The Uzumakis follow suit, a couple of them carrying Neji. Are they alright, Kakashi-sensei? Yes, they'll live, Kakashi says, looking at Hinata. Can you brief me on what happened here? Everything. Yes. Naruto then proceeds to tell Kakashi everything that happened in the fight. Off in the distance, a plant-like being emerges amidst the ruins of the Uzumaki city. So they managed to kill Saxonin, White Zetsu says. Yes, I thought they would. Though the Nine-Tails brat almost died in the process, Black Zetsu says. Wasn't this dangerous? If he had died, our plans would have been set back years. No. Not in this case. If Saxonin had taken over the Nine-Tails, it would have killed Naruto, but the chakra of the Nine-Tails would still remain intact. Altered, but intact. It would have become more powerful, and it could have helped us retain even more power within the Geromazo. Though it would have been more difficult to fight against it and capture it. Alas, Saxonin was unable to defeat the leaf. Is that why you pierced those daggers on that woman? To try to empower the Nine-Tails? Yes. And I was also testing a hypothesis which proved itself false. Should we go after Kabuto? He got the daggers, you know. No, there's no need. They are a powerful sealing implement, but Saxonin is dead. Once the hostess died, his chakra withered away in a split second. Zetsu hears a strange sound coming from nearby. A hooded figure wearing an Akatsuki robe appears, carrying Konan's body. The fifth Hokage really is a gambler, sending the Jinchuriki here. It appears you were right, Black Zetsu, the figure says, tossing Konan on the ground. Is she dead? No. Somehow she managed to survive. Wow, she got really lucky. No, she got really unlucky. Konan would have never lost to those girls under normal circumstances. It doesn't matter. I will use this incident to ignite their will even further. Perhaps we'll be able to convince Nagato to use the Rinne-tensei on his own volition. I find that unlikely. Say, why don't we just go and capture the Nine-Tails now? They're all weak, and we could even get Kakashi's left eye as a bonus. No, there's no point. The Nine-Tails has to be sealed after all other tail beasts, otherwise the Geromazo would destabilize. Besides, we should leave the Leaf Village alone until I get rid of that thorn in my side. I wonder if we wait too long to capture that Naruto, he'll get too strong for us to do so. Don't be silly. The boy will be captured in due time. The power of the Rinnegan will be too much for him to bear. Saxonin also served to weaken the Nine-Tails' sealing even further. Once we get the boy, the extraction should be easy. As easy as it can be when it comes to the Reaper Death Seal. Yes. The Hokage's foolishness will work in our favor. You must order Deidara to capture the Seven Tails. Kakuzu died before he could do so. I'm sure Deidara will be excited by that, though he doesn't seem to like his new partner. Hopefully he'll realize Toby is a good boy. That remains to be seen. I wonder if any of the Leaf Ninjas will get the chakra disease. If it killed Hashirama Senju, I don't see these guys faring any better. Sometimes I forget how young you are. What do you mean? Hashirama didn't die of a chakra disease. Such a thing doesn't even exist. I see, Kakashi says after hearing Naruto's entire report. You gave everything you had, Naruto. There's nothing more you could have done. Now we can check this book and see if we get any information. But I could have done more, Sensei. If I was stronger, I would have saved her. It's pointless to linger on ifs and buts. We'll rest for a day here. Once Sakura wakes up, she's gonna heal us all and we're gonna go back to the village, Kakashi says, tying Hinata up with chains provided by the Uzumakis and placing an explosive tag on the back of her head. Is that really necessary, Kakashi-sensei? Yes. Remember, Everything you knew about Hinata no longer applies. She's a different person now, Naruto. She also tried to kill me, by the way. I have a suspicion as to why, so if she tries anything on our trip back, I'll have to detonate that paper bomb. Naruto doesn't like that, but he understands. What about you guys? Naruto says, looking at Mr. Kajinori. You can come to the Live Village. Live a better life there. We can't leave this place. This is the home of the Uzumaki clan, and it will always be, Mr. Kajinori says, smiling. I know the boy doesn't understand, but you are a great person, a great Uzumaki, Naruto. You tried everything to save his mother, and you saved us all, if that's any consolation. Thank you for protecting our clan. I want you to have this. Mr. Kajinori hands Naruto a scroll. It's a family heirloom. This scroll contains a jutsu mastered by the warriors of our clan. You're a shinobi. It will be more useful with you than with us. I promise all of you, when I become the Hokage, I will re-establish the Land of Whirlpools, and the Uzumaki clan will flourish again. Mr. Kajinori smiles and nods. I hate you! I hope you and everyone in your village die! Yotsu shouts. A wise man once told me that where the tree leaves dance, one shall find flames. The fire's shadow will illuminate the village, and once again the tree leaves shall bud anew. Don't lose hope, Yotsu, Naruto says, as a leaf lands on Yotsu's cheek. Watch the continuation of the Rewriting Naruto series right here. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and also like the video, please. It was a very long one, so if you don't like it, and subscribe right now. I don't know when you're gonna do it, so do it now. And also ring the notification bell so you always know when they come out. Thank you so much for watching.